today has really caused a disruption on some of the businesses across the city. But now that we have our president, we'd like to start. And as our custom is, we like to begin with the rendition of our national anthem, the first stanza of the national anthem. Please let's be upstanding as we take the national anthem to start. Thank you so much. I believe I'm very proud, and we're all proud to serve as Nigerians. I just pray that our pride as citizens of this country will not be diminished by the array of events happening around us. Once again, I'd like to welcome all of us to today's event. And it's a privilege that we have with us the number one citizen of the chamber. Please join me in welcoming the President and Chairman of Council, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Engineer Leye Kupoli. Let's put hands together for him. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. I believe that applause is not presidential enough. Please, let's join our jam our hands together. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I see also within us in the hall this morning, the Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Please put your hands together for Dr. Chinyere P. Samona, FCA. Thank you, man. Thank you for showing up. We have a lot of our respected people around. Please welcome with me the acting chair of the Hotel and Tourism Group here at SCCI, Dr. Tunde Lawrence. Let's put hands together for him. Doc, thank you, sir. Even though when you were coming, I know the rain, but now I think the rain should have come down now. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. We also have with us the representative of one of our guest speakers today. But just before I go to that, please let me recognize, I believe he's in, the chairperson, the chairman of e-commerce of SCCI. Mr. Temidayo Joe, who happens to be the CEO of Jumia Nigeria. Is he in? Oh, represented by, what's the name, sir? Nicholas. Nicholas, thank you so much. Let's put hands together for the representative of the chair. Thank you, Sir Nicholas, for showing up. Do we have with us the head of tourism and creative art business, Sterling Bank, Ms. Abiola Adelana? Is he in? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. As you know, today is loaded with the master class session. I'll do much of the talk about those that will be handling the master class, but let me just get off the speech and the keynote speeches that we have today. First on the list today is for his opening remark. Please join me as we make welcome the President and Chairman of Council of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Engineer Leye Kupoli, for his opening remarks. Please, let's keep clapping for him until he comes down here. Thank you, Mr. President. Please, let's clap for the President, please. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, all. Today is very cool, and we're under AC. If it is a military something now, we have all of us to stand up and start checking our body. Yeah, today is a special day. Special in the sense that two of our major group are meeting here. It's a synergy that I know it will be beneficial to all. Let me begin by recognizing the person that put this one together, our chief executive, the DG of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Amuno. Thank you. He didn't allow the rain to disturb us, and we are here. And our chairman, the chairman of the tourism that is here today, Dr. Tunde Lorensin. Thank you. And the chairman represented the chairman of e-commerce. I've told him that I have some packages with him. Jumia, Mr. Nicholas, thank you for being here. And all our members and members of the council that are here, I wish I can mention your name one by one, but I know majority will not allow me to do that. You're all welcome here, and without you, we won't be here. Leaders of hotel and tourism and the e-commerce group, distinguished participants, thank you for choosing collaboration on a critical industry issue. Like this choice is a whole point of this seminar. Tourism and e-commerce are no longer adjacent industry in Nigeria. They are converging into one digital growth engine. And whatever master that merge first win in this decade of African travel and hospitality. Nigerian tourism sector is recovering at a scale, and the growth is shifting towards domestic, digital-driven spend. The World Travel and Tourism Council projects the sector will be contributing 11.2 trillion naira. If we convert it to dollar, that would be $7.5 billion to the GDP in 2025. 2026, up from 10.9 trillion in 2025. With a domestic tourism expenditure alone reaching 6.1 trillion. The next wave of revenue will be one on how easy Nigerians discover and pay for local travel in a destination appeal alone. E-commerce is no longer a parallel industry to tourism. It is the fast becoming the primary distribution channel. Nigerian e-commerce market is valued at about $39.35 billion US in 2025, projecting in a recent 10.49 billion of 2026 and 18.6 billion by 2031, at about 12.2% compound annual growth rate. That is highly significant. Mobile devices already account for more than 4 in every 5 online places in this country. In other words, including me, I use my mobile device to do most transactions. Most cases, most of us forget that we have even computer back home or in the office. The social commerce is not traditional website anymore. It has become a new front door for Nigerian travel and hospitality. Transaction value moving through social platform is projected to nearly double from 2.04 billion in 2025 to 3.96 billion by 2030. A hotel, restaurants, and tours operators without a fractionalized checkout inside WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook is invisible to fast-growing segment of Nigerian customer spending. But most of us rely on our mobile phone to do our transaction. Therefore, if you are not there, we won't see you. International confidence in African travel is returning faster than the infrastructure to capture it. International tourists arrive in Nigeria and other African destinations have recorded steady growth in the recent years, especially after COVID. Yet, Lagos, our largest gateway, recorded just 18,273 international arrivals in 2024. A reminder that demand recovery alone does not translate into revenue without a digital booking and payment experience. Connectivity is the binding constraint behind every member of this room. Broadband penetration nationally crossed 50% for the first time only in November 2025. For hotel group and online merchants alike, investment in digital infrastructure and payment frame is no longer an IT line item. It is a revenue strategy. This chamber is converting today's seminar into a standing partnership, not one-day event. I am asking the hotel and tourism and e-commerce group to establish a joint digital readiness desk, a practical audit, and a membership pipeline pairing the e-commerce member platform and payment expertise in our hospitality member industry. So that by this time next year, every participating hotel, restaurant, and tour operator in this room has a functional social and online booking channel. Innovation does not come to tourism from outside. The industry, outside the industry, it comes within two LCCI groups. The same building decide a work as one. And the work had to start today. By next year, we will celebrate the result together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that apt opening remark at this all-important event today. As I told you, we need to be quickly done with the speeches. Please make welcome for his welcome address the acting chairperson of the Hotel and Tourism Group. Please join your hands together for Dr. Tunde Lawansi, please. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I've been told not to make my speech brief. I don't know I'm going to do that. I've been told not to make it brief. The president of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the chairman council, our president, engineer Leye Kupolu, you're very welcome, sir, again. Thank you very much for being here. Our DG and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Chinyere Almona. Thank you very much, ma, for this platform. The chairman, e-commerce, ably represented by Mr. Nicholas. Thank you very much for this partnership. We are very excited about this partnership. And we believe that at the end of this masterclass, we will be able to understand the importance of driving the tourism industry and its ecosystem through technology, through e-commerce. We are here to learn. I welcome everybody, the members of e-commerce sector and the members of the tourism sector. Press. We are here to learn because we found ourselves in a dispensation where growth is essential and essentially driven by what was once strange to us, and this is technology. But it's interesting to know that it's becoming what is celebrated in Nigeria. And when we look at the data, when we look at the facts, it's interesting to know that Nigeria is not doing badly in the global community when it comes to technology, when it comes to AI. We are learning every day, and we are learning very, very fast. So it's important that our businesses should be driven by these tools. And there is no other partnership that is essential to us in this space than partnering with the e-commerce sector of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So it's very important to us, and we are glad that when this was proposed, the e-commerce sector gladly accepted to partner with us so that we can learn from what they have, and we can, by so doing, drive growth, sustainable growth in our businesses. We have a lot of businesses here represented, staff members of various organizations in both the e-commerce sector and the tourism sector. And one thing that we really want to take home from here is that we are going back to our businesses to impact that knowledge that we are going to pick up from here. And we begin to see that growth. And more importantly, we want to see more partnership, we want to see more collaborations. And I believe that that window of opportunity is open to us here. Our theme talks about growth, talks about innovation, driven by e-commerce, driven by technology. When this was mentioned at our meeting, everybody was excited. Everybody was excited because we know that the power of AI has drastically reduced the cost of promotions, cost of marketing our product, cost of distributions. And while some are already on top of it, a number of others are still lagging behind. So that's why it was very well welcomed when it was mentioned. And I still believe that a lot are still coming on their way to join us. The intersection or the collaboration between these two elements is what is going to drive, or what has been driving tourism globally. It has been driving the new trend in the hospitality industry globally. And we are here to tap into it. The intersection of tourism and e-commerce is a heartbeat of the new trend, the modern global digital economy. And through digital innovations, we have transformed the traditional agency-based industry into an accessible, hyper-personalized industry. And we are going to be looking at the digital catalyst, that is the growth through e-commerce, which I've mentioned. We are going to be looking at seamless accessibility that the e-commerce has brought. We are going to be looking at the massive market reach. We are going to be looking at a data-driven insight. The e-commerce platform tracks consumer surfing and the purchasing habit. This data empowers businesses to anticipate travel trends and optimize the services, leading to higher productivity and profitability. We're also going to be looking at innovation driven by e-commerce, innovation in the industry driven by e-commerce and technology, under which I've mentioned the AI and personalization. We are also going to be looking under innovation, immersive technologies, and that's talking about the VR and the AR, the virtual reality and the augmented reality. What are their impacts in the businesses that we run? We are going to be looking also under the innovation. We are going to be looking at the mobile commerce. Mr. President talked about the fact that most of his businesses, most of all that he had to do, he runs them on his mobile phone. We have now virtual tourism, where you do not even need to go there. But on your phone, you can go anywhere. You can be in the confines of your home and you are touring Spain. Or let's say local tourism and you are touring Olumorok. You are touring Badagry, the point of no return. You are touring Lagos, the coastal corridor. And it's even more beautiful now because of the Lagos-Calabar corridor that has just been initiated, almost done right now. So we can, right on our phones, do a lot of that. And how do we make businesses out of that? This is one of those things we are here to learn. The path forward is sustainability and localization. That is the way forward that we should, the take home that we should go home with is localization and sustainability. How do we sustain a business that is driven by tools, not by humans? It's exciting to me because it's cheaper. Take, for instance, the AI tools for video, which we need for promoting marketing a product. You can sit right on your table now and produce a lot of videos without spending a dime outside. No models, no cameras, no light, no sound, no writers. It's all in one. By the time we are done with this class, I believe that all this we will understand and we will be able to push this knowledge into our businesses. We want to grow. I want to grow my business, and I believe you want to grow your business too. But we cannot do it without sharing our knowledge that we have. I really want to be a student that goes home to impart my business. I've been looking forward to the opportunity, and I'm glad that the opportunity is here. So I employ us to take this advantage, employ us to come together and see how we can, moving forward from this class, do a lot of partnership. LCC has always been talking about partnership, and that's the way to go. And I've always said that if not for LCCI, somebody like me, I would have been a recluse in business because I find it very difficult to mingle. But LCC has given me the opportunity to mingle free of charge. It has given me the opportunity to meet. I'm withdrawn, but with LCCI, with you here, just share your cards. That's all you need. And the person also shares the card too. Give me your card and I give you mine. Somebody has already collected mine there, and he has not given me his own. So I'm going back to collect his own. So thank you very much for coming. We really look forward to making our businesses better, and also look forward to becoming experts in growing our businesses without spending too much money. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tunde. When I grow up, I like to be a doctor too. I think those who are doctors, PhD holders, there is this thing in them. They don't read notes. They don't read speeches. They just speak from their heart. Once again, let's put hands together for Dr. Tunde for that welcome address. All right, we'd like to take the keynote speech by the chairman of the e-commerce, Mr. Temidayo Ojo, CEO Jumia Limited, Jumia Nigeria, who is ably represented this morning by Mr. Nicholas Obagze. Let's put hands together for Mr. Nicholas. I think, should we put off the AC? The thing is affecting the level of clap. Let's put hands together for Mr. Nicholas. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Standing on the existing protocols, I want to say thank you very much, Mr. President and Chairman of the LCCI, Engineer Leye, the DG, Dr. Chinyere, and the Chairman of the Hotel and Tourism Group, Dr. Tunde. Distinguished speakers, industry leaders, members of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a pleasure to be part of this important masterclass focused on a topic that is increasingly shaping the future of our economy. Tourism meets innovation, powered by e-commerce, is the topic we are looking at today. I bring warm greetings from the entire team at Jumia Nigeria and from our CEO, Temidayo Ojo, who was unable to be here in person today, but asked me to convey his appreciation to the LCCI and for bringing together key stakeholders from tourism, hospitality, technology, and the commerce sector. Today's theme is both timely and relevant because it speaks to a reality that we can all see around us. The way people discover destinations, book experiences, make payments, share reviews, and even choose where to travel has fundamentally changed. Technology has not merely influenced tourism, it has transformed it. So, who is the new digital traveler today? Today's traveler is digital first. Before visiting a destination, they would normally search online, compare prices, watch videos, read reviews, explore social media content, and make bookings from their mobile devices. Whether it's a local tourist who is planning a weekend getaway in Cross River, or a business traveler flying into Lagos, or an international visitor exploring Nigeria's cultural heritage, the journey often begins online. This shift presents a tremendous opportunity for Nigerian tourism and the hospitality industry. So the question here is no longer whether businesses should embrace digital transformation. The question is, how quickly can they do so, and how effectively can they leverage digital tools and remain competitive? Now, what is e-commerce as an enabler for tourism growth? When many people hear the term e-commerce, they immediately think of online shopping. However, e-commerce is much more broader than that. At its core, e-commerce is creating digital connections between businesses and consumers. The same principles apply directly to tourism. A hotel can attract guests through digital marketing. A tour operator can reach customers beyond their immediate location through online platforms. A travel agency can process bookings and payments seamlessly through digital channels. A restaurant can build visibility through online reviews and social media engagement. A cultural festival can attract visitors from around the world through digital promotion. In essence, e-commerce removes geographical barriers, expands market access, And for tourism businesses, that means greater visibility, more customers, and new revenue opportunities. So what are the opportunities for Nigeria? Nigeria possesses extraordinary tourism potential. From our rich cultural heritage, vibrant entertainment industries to our diverse landscapes, historical sites, festivals, cuisines, and hospitality, we have unique experiences that the world wants to discover. Yet, many of these opportunities remain under-promoted and under-commercialized. Digital technology offers a pathway to bridge this gap. So, imagine a future where every tourism destination has a strong digital presence. Hotels of all sizes can be discovered and booked online. Local artisans and cultural entrepreneurs can reach global audiences. Visitors can access seamless information, payments, transportation, and accommodation services through digital platforms. Nigerian tourism experiences become more visible to millions of potential visitors around the world. This future, is achievable, but it requires collaboration. So, what is the importance of our partnerships? Not a single organization can drive this transformation alone. Government has to play a role in improving infrastructure, creating enabling policies. Private sector players also must continue to invest in innovation and digital capabilities. Industry associations such as the LCCI provides valuable platform for knowledge sharing and collaboration. Financial institutions can also support digital adoption among tourism businesses. Educational institutions and training providers can equip professionals with the skills needed for the digital economy. Together, we can build an ecosystem that enables tourism businesses to thrive in an increasingly digital world. What is the call to action for us? As we engage in today's masterclass sessions covering marketing, e-commerce experiences, human resources, and artificial intelligence, I encourage all participants to approach these discussions with one mind. The question in our mind should be, how can we use innovation to create better experiences for customers and create opportunities for businesses? Digital transformation is not a destination, it's an ongoing journey. The businesses that succeed tomorrow will be those who embrace innovation today. They will be the businesses that understand their customers, leverage technology effectively, and continuously adapt to changing consumer expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, the intersection of tourism and e-commerce represents one of the most exciting opportunities for economic growth, job creation, and business expansion in Nigeria. The future belongs to organizations that are willing to innovate, collaborate, and embrace the possibilities that technology provides. At Jumia, we remain committed to supporting Nigeria's digital economy and fostering conversations such as these that encourages innovation across all sectors. I commend the Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Hotel and Tourism Group, and the e-commerce group for organizing this timely initiative. Thank you all for your attention, and I wish you all a productive and impactful masterclass. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nicholas, for a good representation of Temidayo Ojo this morning. All right, as you have heard in all the speeches, we're talking about masterclass. That is the key thing today. We'll go to the masterclass very soon, but I'd like us to listen to our guest speaker today. She's loaded. She is the head of tourism and creative art business from Sterling Bank. Please join me as we make welcome Ms. Abiola Adelana for our speech. Let's clap for Abiola, please. Thank you.
I'll use my phone. Thank you, MC.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everyone. The President, LCCI, Engineer Leye Kupolui, the DG, the beautiful DG, Dr. Chinyere Almona, FCA, I hope I pronounced the name correctly. My dear brother, Dr. Tunde Lawson, Acting Chairman, Hotel and Tourism Group for LCCI. And my sweetheart sister, who had invited me for this occasion, Dr. Muji David. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abiola Adelano, and I head the tourism and creative business for Sterling Bank, the only financial institution that has got a dedicated division to cater for tourism development and the creative economy. It's a distinct pleasure to be here today, representing Sterling Bank, a firm deeply committed to the growth and prosperity of global tourism sector. Our presence here underscores our belief in the transformation and the transformative power of this industry, tourism sector, and our dedication to fostering its evolution. So some few years ago, I think barely a year before COVID, Sterling was ahead of our game. We started automating and digitalizing our process. As such, in Sterling, we can work remotely. We approached the agile methodology approach, and we started tourism business now going to 4 years ago, and clearly we knew that if we are going to win in this sector, we have to adopt digitalization. So we supported and powered an e-commerce platform called Tourista. It's a digital platform that allows all tourism players, whether you are a destination owner or a tourism practitioners, for you to be able to curate your tours and place on this platform. And as financial institution, we backed it up with financing because we know the Nigerians are very adventurous. Some of the limitation is the financing, access to funds. And we don't give out travel loans with commercial rates, the commercial lending rates. We source for cheaper funds just to encourage people to travel and explore the world. So on the platform, you can have access to financing. We also encourage people to save towards their travel goal. And of course, we also infuse some level of marketing to expose our destination partners and tourism partners on our platform. So tourism is all about movement. And of course, when people move, money moves with them. So tourism is actually a major revenue driver for the nation. As such, tourism business is actually a serious business. So I will go into my speech now. The key innovation trends reshaping tourism and our research and engagement with industry leaders highlight several pivotal innovation trends that are not just buzzwords for fundamental shift. Regularly, when we started, one of the key things that we have committed to do is to constantly engage stakeholders. So I must really appreciate this opportunity to be here today among you stakeholders within the industry and of course the LCCI. Artificial intelligence, AI, and big data. AI is revolutionizing customer service through intelligent chatbots, personalizing travel recommendations. So I just came back yesterday from Ghana, my Ghana trip, and before going, I constantly saw the visuals of where I was going, which is the Safari Valley Resort. Before getting to Ghana, I already knew what I want to do. I knew that I was going to do kayaking, I was going to do this, I was going to do that, because I've already visualized it before even getting to my destination. The immersive tourism experiences, travelers increasingly seek authentic and unique engagement. The virtual reality and augmented reality, which doctors mentioned earlier, is a way of creating new ways to explore destinations before arrival, or even to experience cultural heritage sites remotely, broadening accessibility and appeal. While we were at Safari Resort, the Ghana president and his esteemed stakeholder were there with us, and he was saying, one of the minister for finance said, oh, he has toured Nikkei Art Gallery in Nigeria. And the minister for tourism said, oh, have you been to Nigeria before? He said, no. He said, through virtual reality. But he cannot wait to visit Nigeria so that he can explore and experience Nikkei Art Gallery real time. This is the power of digitalization and innovation. These innovations are not isolated, they are interconnected, forming a sophisticated ecosystem that promises to elevate the entire travel journey. And for financial sector, we are powering tourism innovative leap. Sterling, as I mentioned, we recognize that innovation requires significant investment and strategic partnership. We have the likes of Nikkei Art Gallery. When you step into Nikkei Art Gallery today, it's fully solarized, powered by Sterling Bank. Ikogosi Resort is one of the foremost resorts in Nigeria. Sterling Bank is fully powering Ikogosi Resort, among other resorts and destinations in Nigeria. How do we support the digital transformation? We offered tailored financial products, as I mentioned earlier, to help tourism businesses adopt new technologies, upgrade digital infrastructure, and implement advanced data analytics platforms. We facilitate fintech solutions, and our expertise in financial technology allow us to support the development and adoption of secure, efficient, and innovative payment system, and of course, the financial management tools for the tourism sector. Then strategic advisory. Beyond funding for us, we provide strategic guidance, connecting innovative startups with established tourism players. Sterling is one of those, I've worked in like 3 or 4 different financial institutions before I moved to Sterling. They really don't blow their trumpet, but some great innovation and great things they're doing that is even not known to the public, that needs to be known, of course, anyway. We do a lot of advisory. There's a lot of startup innovation that Sterling Bank actually supports and power. It creates new avenues for economic growth. For us, we do not rely on government. We know that everybody needs to play their own part for us to have a thriving economy. Opportunities ahead, a collaborative future. The convergence of tourism and innovation presents immense opportunities, and we need to collaborate. We cannot do it alone. I so much believe in strategic collaborations. And of course, I'm willing to collaborate with LCCI. New market creation, the digital platform and immersive technologies can open up destinations to new demographics and create entirely new travel products. Enhanced customer experience, personalized services, seamless travel, and authentic engagement will lead to greater customer satisfaction and loyalty. Then, of course, the operational efficiency, automation, AI and data-driven insights can significantly reduce costs and improve the efficiency of tourism operation. However, realizing these opportunities requires collaboration. It demands a concerned effort from government, tourism boards, private enterprises, and financial institutions to create an environment where innovation can flourish. We must collectively address challenges such as access to capital for small and medium-sized enterprises. Digital literacy, constant training is very important, and regulatory frameworks, and encourage rather than stifle innovation. And in conclusion, innovate, invest, inspire. The future of tourism is linked to innovation. It is a future where technology enhances human connection, where sustainability is woven into the fabric of every journey, and where financial support acts as the bedrock for bold new ventures. And of course, as the head of tourism and creative sector for my bank, I invite all of you, to collaborate with us. We have an open arms. Let us innovate with purpose, invest with foresight, and inspire a new era of tourism that is vibrant, resilient, and profoundly impactful for generations to come. Thank you, LCCI, and thank you all for listening to me.
So much. Thank you once again for that beautiful presentation, Abiola Adelano, for what Stanley Bank has done and what they are willing to do. And I can assure you, you are sitting right to the next and the right person in your openness to partner with the SCCI. The woman by your right-hand side, I need you to hold her. Technically, yes, hold her physically. All that you need to discuss about partnership lies on our table, and I can assure you, she's partnership personified. So she's open, and on behalf of SCCI, she will want to discuss all the partnership things that Stanley Bank can do. And all of our other platforms we can also use to push your product and services are also available. Just discuss all of those with her. An instruction from her will make me run from here on leg to Mexico. All right, thank you so much. All right, we want to go to the masterclass sessions. We have about 4 sessions, 30 minutes each. 30 minutes because we will give opportunity to you to ask questions about how. Thank you, man. Okay, thank you. I'm told before we go to the masterclass, because it's going to be very detailed, I need to take my photo for the press. It's appropriate. It won't be very good that we are in a room that is dark and is not known outside. So my commitment is to make everything you have said here today go viral online, and one of it is to take this picture. Please make welcome the president, the DG, sister from Stanley Bank, the chair of the Tourism and Hotel Group, and the representative of the chair of the e-commerce. Yes. Sir, this would be good. Yes. Let's move a bit closer, please. Thank you. Francis. Maybe. Okay. Just go into that roller. Yes. Don't worry. Okay, let me see. So, Dr. Tunde, move closer to the DG. Thank you. All right. Francis, are you good? Thank you so much. Okay. Like I said, we needed to do that very fast because Abiola needs to go. So, and we need to have that documented. So, the first master class, and I need us to please be ready with our questions. Like I said, we have decided to make each session 30 minutes each so that we can have opportunity for engagement. So, the Module 1, which is about marketing, tourism growth, and visibility. Chief Executive Officer of LIMB, Simple Academic, Mr. Ezekiel Solesi. Do we have him around? Let's put our hands together for Mr. Ezekiel Solesi. Thank you. Let's clap for him. Thank you, sir.
Yes, of course. Okay. Good morning, everyone. We're still in the morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ezekiel Solesi. First things first, I'm really privileged to be here. Most of us, those of us in this room, I tell people that the tourism and entertainment industry are more potent arsenals than the army of a country. All right? Because, for example, most of us have assumptions about the US that came either from what we have watched or what we have experienced when we went there. We have assumptions about Dubai, we have assumptions about all of this, and it's great that the industry is gathered in this room and is trying to figure out how do we serve our people a lot better. My name is Ezekiel. I'm a business strategist. So a lot of my conversation today would circle a lot around marketing as a broad subject, because I know that some other people are going to come in and talk specifically about e-commerce and AI, and the likes. So I lead a company called LIMB Simple. It means life, investing, money, and business made simple. We've had the privilege of working with a couple of clients. All of this is not all that important to us because I want to get straight into the class. What I want to do today is, we've been privileged in the last 15 years to have worked with about 5,000 businesses. We have, at the moment, 67 of them who do over $1 billion a year. And in all of that, we've actually executed a specific marketing framework. So that marketing framework that we've executed is what we want to share today, right? Now, you can use this framework in whatever industry. So as much as possible, I would try to explain it with different stories of businesses that we've actually worked with and different ways in which you can actually execute this particular marketing framework. But before we get into that, I want to define marketing first. So marketing is all the efforts we make to ensure our ideal customers know us, like us, trust us. And this is very important. For people to do business with you, they have to know who you are, know that you exist. They have to like you, and they have to trust you, meaning that you have to have some pedigree. Right? They have to believe that you can deliver on what it is that you said you've promised. And this is very, very important. Now, first things first, to realize that marketing is not sales. However, great marketing massively impacts sales. In fact, one of the greatest investors in Silicon Valley said, and I agree with him, he says, when an organization has a great marketing team, they might not need to have a great sales team, right? Because what marketing does is that it gets a lot of people coming at you, and even when you don't have such a great sales team, you are able to convert, even if it's a tiny, even if I can convert 1 out of every 100, it might look bad, but if I have 1 million people coming at me and have the capacity to convert 1 out of every 100, I'll still hit my targets, all right? So marketing is very, very, very critical in our business. And unfortunately, it's something that a lot of us business owners in this country haven't taken as seriously. We take sales seriously, but we haven't taken marketing as seriously. Right? And I always tell people that most businesses that think they have a sales problem, what they actually have is a marketing problem. Because everybody has that one person that they think can afford their service and hasn't bought, but you're making an assumption. You're making an assumption that the person can afford it now. That the person is rich doesn't mean the person. I'll give you a perfect example. I live in a neighborhood with a lot of big men, right? So I have a couple of neighbors who drive Rolls Royces, right? No, I'm not at that level, right? So I have a couple of neighbors who drive Rolls Royce, right? Rolls Royce is, a couple of neighbors, Maybach, Rolls Royce. And so I usually tell my wife that, imagine if somebody, stands on this street, sees a couple of people with, Rolls Royces and decides to knock on my door and is trying to convince me to buy a Rolls Royce. And if that person's, success is determined by his ability to sell one in 6 months, I don't know about 1 year, but in 6 months, he shouldn't be talking to me. Because no matter how much he in fact, he can convince me so much, I can be so inspired, my legs leave the ground, I'm levitating, inspiration wants to kill me. Once it comes to payment, he shouldn't be talking to me yet. It might be in my future. But what we know for a fact is if that person goes through the entire estate, he will probably find somebody, right? So that's what marketing does. Marketing gets you to get through to everybody in the entire estate so that the few people who would buy what you're selling start to come out to you, right? So your business is not determined, in fact, by the people that didn't buy. Businesses don't fail because people don't buy. Businesses fail a lot more because of the customers we don't even talk to. Right? So the first thing that I always, because remember I'm talking to us about a particular marketing framework, and the first thing we do when we sit down with business owners is to say, the first thing you must clarify is what your budget is. It is interesting that a lot of us that run businesses do not have a marketing budget. You must have it. You must have an amount of money that you, your board, your marketing team has decided this 50,000, this 50 million, this 500 million is what our marketing budget is. Now, it doesn't all have to go into digital ads, and there are other ways that you can do, but you have to have a budget. In fact, I tell people that have a budget, treat marketing as you treat a staff. When you hire a staff and you give him 90 days. You give him 6 months, right? Most people, when they want to start running, doing marketing or running ads, they put maybe 50,000 naira in 1 month. They don't see anything, and so they say it doesn't work. That's not how it works. You must have a budget. In 2020, I was doing a session, and I talked to a couple of real estate people, and I said, look, you have to, no matter how small, 20,000, 50,000, have a marketing budget that goes into digital ads. So this lady decided that she was going to do the same. So she had a small budget at the time, 20,000 naira. She was running every single month. She didn't really understand it, but she said 6 months in, she was able to generate just 4 quality leads, and one of them bought a property worth 2 million naira from her. But in 2022, because I was in that organization back in 23, and she's the top salesperson. So in 2022, she said the same guy who had bought a 2 million naira property from her bought a 2 billion naira property from her in 2022. So the question is, if she wasn't consistent in doing those ads, would she find that person? She wouldn't. She wouldn't find the person. So the idea here is that you have to have a budget, no matter how small. I tell people that if you don't have a marketing budget, you are proud. It's a serious exhibition of pride, because what you're asking God to do is to wake me up in the middle of the night, tell me your name, your phone number, your account number. No. It is better that you put yourself in places where you can be seen, and then people make decisions in your favor. So the first thing you need to figure out is marketing budget. So we have a framework called the WWWHW framework. So the first thing here is, first W is, who is my ideal customer? There is no product on the face of the earth or no service on the face of the earth that is directed at everybody. The moment it is productified, it has a target audience. Water, everybody is supposed to drink water. But the moment you put it in a bottle, you've put it beyond the reach of some people. I hope we all agree. Some people cannot buy this because it doesn't make sense to them why you spend 200 naira on 50 cl when you can spend 30 naira on the same thing. Because it's the same water content, right? The moment something becomes a product, you now have an ideal client. So the first question is, who exactly am I looking for? I run a hotel. My hotel is in a particular location. Who am I looking for? I have a travel and tour business. who am I looking for? It's very important. It's very, very important to identify. And in 2020, we worked with a particular business, and so very successful business. They had done 2019. They had done 100 million, and then in 2020 they pivoted to COVID, and then they closed at 3.6 billion, and then we're working with them in 2021 to. They hit 17 billion naira then, but everybody thought about COVID as something that everybody needed. Everybody needs to do COVID test. And I said, look, as much as it's everybody, we need to ask, who are the people we are looking for? And so we zeroed in and said, look, we're looking for people in oil and gas, and we're looking for people that were in the travel population. And so what that did was that it allowed us, if you remember during COVID, about the time when the world started opening up, you hear people say things like 7 things you must do if you want to travel to Nigeria. They will list 6 things, and then they will tell you that you have to do your COVID test, and they will recommend a particular company to you. That was exactly what we focused them on doing. Because while COVID is raging everybody and everybody needs to do a COVID test, you also need to target somebody specifically. Right? Because targeting everybody is targeting nobody. And so who is the kind of person that you should target? Your ideal prospect. An ideal prospect must have 3 things. Your ideal prospect must have a problem you can solve, must be aware that they have a problem you can solve, and must be able to afford the solution that you're proposing. This is very important. If these 3 things are not complete, you would not get your money. They must have a problem you can solve. They must be aware that they have a problem you can solve. And then they must be able to afford the solution that you're proposing. For example, if I'm walking right in front of, say, Eco Hotel, and I'm thirsty, right? I can walk into Eco Hotel, but a bottle of water, because I do my monthly strategy workshops there, a bottle of water is somewhere around 4,000 naira. If I'm a 200 naira water person and I walk into that place, can I afford the solution that they're offering? I cannot afford it. So I'll come out and walk somewhere else. Right? So they must know that they have a problem. They must have a problem first. They must be aware that they have a problem. And then they must be able to afford the solution that you're providing. So you have to look at what solution am I providing, and how do I ensure that I'm only talking to people who can afford my solution? It's very important that if you're talking to somebody, the person must have these 3 things. Once you identify what that is, and it's very important that you identify it. I'll give you an instance. We worked with a travel and tour business a couple of years ago, and this business, they made, travel and tour businesses are very varied. So there are some people that are very big on the tour angle. There are some people that are very big on the ticketing angle. So this particular company was big on ticketing, right? And they were quite big. They used to issue close to 1 billion naira worth of tickets every month. Now, this small tweak that we did with them took that number to over 3.2 billion a month in tickets, right? Because the question is, how do we answer this question? Because, it's easy for travel and tour business to try and reach everybody. We said, look, where do you find somebody that they are going to buy a ticket, but you also know that they have not bought one? Where do you find them? We are absolutely sure that they're going to buy a ticket, but we're absolutely sure they haven't bought one. By the time we sat down for a couple of hours and we brainstormed, we realized that that sweet spot is the passport office. Is that most Nigerians don't get a passport because they want a means of identification, right? They can use driver's license for that. Most Nigerians who are getting passports are trying to get a passport because they want to travel, right? So we know that if you find someone in the passport office, they want to travel. But we also know that they have not bought their ticket, because we know that the passport number is supposed to be on the ticket. And so we said, look, how do we then partner with these guys? So this was about 6 years ago. No, 5 years ago, 21. So we now said that, you see, when you go to passport offices, it's a lot more sane now. But back then, when you go to passport offices, the people who facilitate the transaction are all of these, hustlers. Ramon, Tunde, all those guys. So that's what we did. We worked with the organization to partner with those people So that when you go and they process the passport for you, they'll say, oh, you're trying to travel. If you talk to this company and you call my name, they'll give you a discount. So now Ramon is making some money. They are directing you to them. And if you go, there is no passport office in Nigeria. I don't know about now, but whether it's Ikeja, Ikoyi, or Festac, that you would not see close to 100 people every single day trying to get their passports. Right? 100 people every single day trying to get their passport, almost 6 days a week. An average ticket is somewhere between 2 million and 3 million naira. So it means that in a passport office, there is a potential of 300 million naira in sales possible for somebody who wants to sell tickets on every single day. Across all 3 locations, you're looking at close to 1 billion naira worth of transaction possible every single day. Do you understand? So it's important that you focus your energy to go and find the people that have these 3 things. So once you know that, the question would be, so these kinds of people, where do they live? What do they do? Right? How much do they earn? Because somebody cannot spend with you more money than they earn. You understand? If I want to sell a private jet leasing service, there are places that I would rather go to, and there are places that I would rather stay away from. Right? Because it's easier when the thing they want to buy from you represents a disposable income for them. It's easier. So we have to start looking at all of these things. And once you do this, then we go to the next, which is who has my customer now? And this is not a competitor. This is the fact that there is somebody right now who your ideal customer already has their trust. I'll use ourselves as an example. When we started out doing trainings, one of the challenges that people talk about is that a lot of people don't pay for trainings, and the likes, and it's a lot difficult. I'm saying, no, that's not true. You have not found the right people. So what I started to do was that I started to identify microfinance banks in certain parts of town, in VI, in Ikoyi, and all of that. So I'll go there, trying a way to meet with somebody and say, look, people are owing you money, right? They say, yeah, they're owing you money. They can't pay you because they don't know, they don't have money. And they don't have money because their business isn't doing so well. So what if I do a free strategy session, sales and marketing sessions every month for your people? Just call all the people that are owing you, right? So we started doing some of those things for these people. In fact, sometimes we would offer them an additional thing where we say, we'll offer them one day in the month that we do something called expert in residence. You sit down, people come, talk about their businesses, you give them a couple of advice, and guess what happened? People started because if I'm owing a bank and I cannot pay, and they tell me to come and do free training, and I don't come, that's a declaration of war. Because that means not only am I not paying you, I don't even want to learn on how to pay you. So people will come, you from there, because the person who is already owing, who already understands business to the point where they're credible enough to get facilities from a bank, is the kind of person that I'm looking for. Right? You are here, you run a hotel. Beautiful. Sometimes, what are people very interested in? Right? Nigerians in today's world are interested in places that are Instagrammable. Right? So where can we design? Or can we run a comedy club in your hotel? Where up-and-coming comedians can just, come in. They have a night where they come in. Now, if they post it on their social media handle that they are going to be at such and such a place every Thursday night or every Tuesday night, guess who will come? The people that follow them online will come with them, isn't it? So there are people who already have the attention of the people that we're trying to reach. We need to find the cheapest way to be able to get those people to partner with them. Right? To partner with them. We're working with a travel and tour company. So we helped him to design a package. So there are influencers. There are comedy influencers. There are trainers. There are all these people that are trying to go and do something abroad. Package it for them. They already have people that they have influence over. We say, we're going to do such and such in Marrakesh. We're going to do this and this. This is the company that is packaging it for us. Find people who already have the attention or the people you're looking for and partner with them. Right? When you partner with them, the next question would then be, what bait do we give to them? What bait? So remember, marketing is about getting attention, but what you want is sales. So now you have their attention. What are you going to give to them that would get their attention, that would get them to want to find out more about you? In our own case, it was a training that we're doing. In your own case, it could be something else, depending on what your business is. Depending on what your business is. I remember Dr. Moji, I worked with Dr. Moji back then when they first opened up the resort. You know, a few ideas here and there. And some of the brilliant ideas that she came up with was, you know, she was trying to get a lot of people to visit the resort. And so you realize that one of the easiest way to get a lot of high quality or a mixed crowd was to get churches. So we say, oh, pastors, can we organize pastors to come and do a pastor's retreat? All expenses paid. So all the pastors came. When they came, they saw it, then they started asking, can they come and do their workers' retreat? And you know the thing about churches in this country is that somebody can be the MD of $1 billion company, but be the usher in the church. And then that MD that is an usher will come for the workers' retreat. He comes for the workers' retreat, he experiences the place, so now in his capacity as MD, he wants his entire organization to come there. But if you don't do some of those things, it'll be difficult. So what bait do you offer to people, right? All of these things can be quantified as part of your marketing budget, yes. For example, some of us have hotels, all of the rooms are not filled. You are struggling to fill the rooms. Okay, good. Let's assume that all the rooms will not be filled. Take one of the rooms and turn it into a podcast studio. Turn it into a podcast studio. When you turn it into a podcast studio, provide access to normal people to come and shoot their podcast there. And every time they shoot their podcast there, in the podcast, they must identify that it's in partnership with your hotel. And they must mention it. You know, that this beautiful podcast studio is at XYZ Hotel. They have this, and it's all amazing. Because you already have the room that will not be filled. The room is not going to be filled. So just turn it into a podcast studio. Let people come and shoot podcasts inside. And if they shoot podcasts inside, they will talk about you. If they talk about you, the people who have their attention will hear about you. So the idea is there has to be something that you're giving. You know, the principle of this is, how many of us have gone to buy suya before from our suya brothers? The moment the man sees you, especially if you drive a very nice car, once you come down, the first thing he will do is that he will cut small, put it in pepper, give it to you. The moment you eat that thing, you have to be an evil spirit to not buy that suya. You know, because when you eat that thing like this, you know that at that point, what he has activated in sales is called the law of reciprocity. You now owe him. So many of us, when we tasted it like that, it didn't really taste very nice, but just so that we don't walk away, we will just say, give me 2,000 or give me 20,000 naira so you're there. Right? That's the idea. Is that there's something that you can give to people that get their attention, that gets them to want to do business with you. And it depends on what the business can afford, right? It depends on what the business can afford. If you're a hotel business and somebody walks in, some hotels that we've seen, even here in Nigeria and a few of them abroad, you walk into the hotel, just by walking into the hotel at the lobby, if they see you standing for a little while, they give you a small juice, you drink. If you drink that juice, you go into some restaurant, they tell you, your first glass of juice is on the house. If you drink, you must buy. Right? So, but the cost of that juice or the cost of that water is not a lot, but what it will return back to you is significantly, as opposed to what most people do, where somebody's sitting down in your restaurant, you now come and say, excuse me, are you buying anything? Because if you're not buying anything, we want you to get out. No. Right? Would there be people that will take advantage of your free juice? Perhaps. But would it still make sense eventually when you look at the economics of it? It will. Right? So the next is, how do you reach them? And this is very important. It's not every way that is the best way to reach a customer. Like I mentioned earlier, right? The best way to reach a customer is the sweet spot where they have made up their minds to buy your product, but they haven't made a buying decision. And I'll give you a few instances with a few other industries that we've worked with. So we worked with a particular dental clinic. And this dental clinic had the sales hovering around 10 million a month. And over a 12-month period, their sales went up to about 50 million a month. And so what happened? So we sat down with this dental clinic owner. We're trying to, so there's something that we always try to identify in every business. It's called the CSR, right? What's the critical success factor? Which is, what is the one thing that we can identify as the key thing that the business has to focus its energy on. So we said, so by the time I started talking to the woman, we realized that a basic thing that almost everybody needs to do, if you have a set of tooth, is scaling and polishing, right? And scaling and polishing for them then was about 35,000 naira for one scaling and polishing. So I said, okay, good. How much does it cost to deliver this service? So for them, it cost about 9,000 naira to deliver the service. So they were operating at somewhere around the 26,000 naira margin. So I said, okay, that's good. But the problem was that they had a 9,000 naira consultation fee. And it was a big problem because we identified that a critical success factor for a dental clinic was for somebody to walk into the clinic. Because if somebody walks into the clinic, they don't have a clinic they go to. They haven't, meaning that they also haven't seen a dentist in a while. And if they've not seen a dentist in a while, the least thing that had to happen is that they will at least need to do scaling and polishing. So I said, can you do me a favor and take away this consultation fee? She said, no. I said, okay, just give me 1 day a week where you will not charge consultation fee. So she decided that day was going to be Thursday. So I said, good. So we then did a series of content, about 20 different content. I said, look, figure out what are all the things that people have. Smelly mouth odor, all these different things. When you do all of that, end the video with book for a free consultation on Thursday. And just that simple thing of booking for a free consultation on Thursday, that Thursday became their busiest day. Because when people come, it's free consultation, they don't have to pay for it. They come in, they have 90% of those people end up with scaling and polishing. But most of those people, remember, they come because they have a condition. There's a condition that brought them there. So they will do scaling and polishing, they will do whatever the condition is, and revenue grew to about 50 million naira a month. So the question is, what is that one thing that we can focus our energy on? The same thing was a school. We had a school in Lekki that they had problem. It was a very expensive school. And so by the time we analyzed, we realized that a lot of the people who attend the school, this was pre-COVID, this was around the time where it was very fashionable, if you remember, to go and give birth to your children abroad. You know, remember there was a time that it was the thing to give birth to your children abroad. Now, you and your family all go to the abroad. But back then, it was just the children, you know, to give birth to them, they come back. And so by the time we analyzed, we realized that the person who would bring their children to a school like that is over $1 million naira a term, most likely would have given birth to the child abroad, right? So we decided that, look, what we needed to do was we needed to start talking to parents before they decided on a school. And the easiest way to meet them was that they needed to partner with a lot of the high-end hospitals around, because those children, when they're giving birth to abroad, they would come back sometime around 3 to 6 months, and they would need to take immunizations. But they will not go to government hospitals because they are very tush. So they will go to certain type of hospitals. So this school, we advised them to create a small care package, something very small that has a really small gift and a nice small booklet on 5 ways on how to grow a genius. And then wrote 4 really nice things, and the 5th one was that they were waiting for them in school. All right? So the idea is these parents are coming. At 3 months, the child, except if that is not the first child. If it's the first child, the child at 3 months might not have started a decision about what school it is. And then they come in there, they get this pamphlet, they already have a good impression about the school. And so now they're thinking about how to get the children to that particular school. So in whatever industry that we're in, there are ways in which we can create something. And there are ways in which we can determine what's the best way to be able to meet these people. And lastly is the most important question, Because a lot of us spend a lot of time thinking about why do we want to sell, that we don't ask why would they buy in the first place, right? The question, why would they buy from me, is very critical, because that is the conversation that is already happening in the head of your customer, right? That customer. So I'll give you a perfect example, and thank God the representative of the CEO of Jumia is here. Prior to Jumia, we had a number of e-commerce, business, Deal Day, Everything.com. So why was it that it was, companies like Jumia and Konga that succeeded at the time, right? It was because, I believe it's because of this question. And this question led to something. For them to realize that the average Nigerian has a huge distrust to the system, that they would rather see what they want to buy before they pay for it. And so you now had this situation where people could pay on delivery. How many of us here know that it's really only in Nigeria that people pay on delivery? In fact, if you are abroad and you booked an Uber, before they find you a vehicle, they've taken their money. I hope you know. Like, if you're using your Uber app in London and you try to book a ride, before they find you a ride, the first thing they will do is to take the money from your account. Then they find you a ride. In Nigeria, they will find you a ride. You enter the ride. You will get to your destination before you know how much. Do you understand? But that simple thing about understanding why would people buy from me. They won't just buy from me because they saw something on the website and they can get it to me. They buy because I understand their distrust of the system. The average Nigerian has a distrust towards the system. So they know that if we can get these people... Now, could it have been, and he'd probably be the best to tell us, was it a risky decision? It probably was. Because would there be a lot of people who would take advantage of it? Probably. Right? But if you look at the economics of it, you realize at some point it probably served them a lot more than it hurt them. Right? So it's the same question. Why would people come to your hotel? Why would people book their tours with you? Why would they do all of these things? Because if you can answer that question, then we've created a situation where we are walking from the answer back to the question. Right? We already know that they're going to buy, we already know why they want to buy, and then we walk our way all the way to the point where we meet with them. It's very, very important. And it's critically important, as I close, that the tourism sector in Nigeria succeeds. It's important because whatever it is the government can do is only half the job. I tell people that Nigeria, for the most part, has a packaging problem. It's not just a function. And the packaging that we want to package ourselves, the people that will do the packaging is those of us in this room. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, just get back to your seat. I'll bring you up. Thank you so much, Mr. Sholesi. Thank you. Not until you were coming up that I now remember that, your billboard adorned various places in Lagos. Anytime you do something strategies for leadership, something business, now I remember. Thank you so much for this session. I believe, including myself, there are thousands of questions waiting for you when we get to the interactive session. So let's have the second module. I can tell you that Mr. Sholesi kept to the time. He actually spent 28 minutes thereabout, which is out of his 30 minutes. I'm happy. That tells me something about it. I don't know whether he was rushing the time or something, but he worked within the time. For the second module, we have, which is e-commerce experience, advocacy, and visibility. Head, Marketplace and Seller Management, Jumia Nigeria, Mr. Nicholas Obazik. Let's put hands together for Mr. Nicholas. Is that a slide or? Okay, yes. They will project it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think Mr. Ezekiel has equally presented my presentation, literally. That's why I had to stop to ask him what his name was so that I can get it. Well, amazing session. Thank you very much. And I think just to corroborate what you've said, I think for us at Jumia, right, before COVID, businesses, e-commerce businesses, so to speak, that sell physical products had a plateau. And then when it came to COVID, people were not allowed to go out. So I think at that point, it dawned on either the government and people that they needed to rely on the opportunities that e-commerce had to offer. And people started to buy things online, and business actually scaled. And then coming out of COVID, e-commerce businesses then had a new plateau. It wasn't what it was in 2019. Started out at a new level, and it's been going on well since that time. So, like the speech was, the speech from the CEO of Jumia, he said, e-commerce is not just physical goods. It's commerce that is happening online. It has to do with whatever service you're selling, whatever product you have to offer, whatever it is that you need to let customers out there know that you want to give to them. And then all of the things that Ezekiel has said actually begins to play out. So, at this junction, we want to understand service that sells, right? How we create unforgettable e-commerce journey for all of our customers, regardless of the industry that you are playing it. It's not a lot, trust me. What we have here is literally just what is in the content slide, but they are all bullet points. Each word is actually key. Probably when you see it, I probably will not need to tell you so much. But our focus today will be on online booking systems. Not necessarily how it works, but what they are and how customers are perceiving them. What digital payments are for customers. We also will be looking at customer engagement platforms and how we can blend physical experiences with online convenience. So, there is a new customer reality today. I mean, COVID had shaped all of our notion around who our customers are. I think even on the side of marketing, there's been a lot of, there's been a paradigm shift in understanding who the customer is today. The unique customer today no longer buys product alone, and that is the truth, right? They buy speed, they buy convenience, they buy trust experience, they buy after sales. As a business in Nigeria today, you need to ideally focus on not just the business, not just the product, or the service you're selling. You equally need to understand all of the intricacies around that particular product. For example, speed. If you have an in-house logistics, for example, then you need to be sure that maybe your logistics service is on point. When customers are ordering your product, they are able to deliver fast. That is something we are currently doing at Jumia today. So if you buy a product at night, for example, it will get delivered in the morning or in the afternoon, right? Right, same day within Lagos. Anyway, we do next day deliveries. So we are focused on speed, we're focused on convenience, the fact that the customers are able to shop or see your product at any point in time. We begin to create trust, and that is why we've been offering pay on delivery. Pay on delivery actually is around 65% of our business share today. So customers always want to see the product before they buy. And the truth is, e-commerce businesses will not allow customers to touch and feel. And that is why, as a business owner, service or product you're selling, you need to invest heavily in imaging, for example, description, for example, because that is the only thing the customer can relate with. So when they see your dress, for example, on the website, you need to then tell the customer, oh, this is washing machine friendly. Maybe use hot water or cold water. Do not iron, do not squeeze. All of those information is what the customers would see, read, and trust before they buy. And then after sales support as well too. Customers, I would say e-commerce businesses, the way the customers are behaving now is changing the way the customers are reacting to, so if you go and buy in a physical store, for example, you can already take a decision to say, this jeans is not sharp, I will not buy it, or I don't think this glasses fit me, so no need to even buy it in the first place. If it's e-commerce, the product will get to them. But if it gets to them and they don't like it, they will most likely return it. What is your after-sales game is important to the customer. So the customer looks at all of these things before they buy. So as businesses, you don't need to focus on your product alone or your service alone. You need to look at all of these adjoining facts as well. Today, customers, obviously, they expect seamless online discovery, fast and secure payments, reliable delivery, personalized engagement, easy offline to online transitions. I think one part that is very important is seamless online discovery. So if they see, maybe you have a product today, maybe you're a fashion designer, you've got a dress on, maybe made by Adama, for example. Someone sees it on you and he or she loves it, they should be able to discover it online very quickly. Which is what, so when they tell you, oh, it's a fine shirt, I bought it, check us online, check us on Instagram, visit my website. That online discoverability is very important. So as businesses, digital platforms actually helps you to make all of this discovery possible. There are two types of e-commerce markets, I'll put it that way. There's the structured e-commerce marketplaces, and then there's the unstructured e-commerce marketplaces. The structured e-commerce plus are businesses like Jumia or Konga or Gigi or Mano, places where you go to buy physical products. Your website, for example, is a structured e-commerce platform. The unstructured e-commerce platform is social media, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, and Facebook. You literally just do things there on your own. You probably just buy sponsored products, do the marketing that the platform has, but it's very unstructured. And there's a lot of sales that goes on in that particular market, and every business has to take advantage of it. So seamless online discovery is very important. So what is the key insights for us here about new customer reality? A great product will attract a customer, but a great experience is what will keep them. There are a lot of people, I think in my early days when I think I worked at Nokia, where I sold mobile phones. And I started off my career in Warri back in 2009. Yeah. I have customers who call me in 2026 to tell me they want to buy a phone from Warri. And I'm like, okay, I no longer sell phones. Okay, so can you connect me with somebody that can help me get, ABC kind of phone? Why? It's because of the kind of experience that I gave to them. I was able to maybe do deliveries for them. I took monies from them to buy these phones, help them set it up, for example. That experience has kept all of these customers attached to me and attached to the Nokia brand, although the Nokia brand is no longer producing phones. But yeah, a great experience with what will keep them. They keep coming back to your hotels for a reason. It is the experience that they get, and you need to actually double down on making your experience better. So I want us to look at the evolution of e-commerce. We're going to look at the traditional commerce and the modern e-commerce. So the traditional commerce, what do we have normally? It's a physical interaction only kind of setting. The guy who is driving by the road sees you selling clothes, he stops, comes down, enter your shop, and you guys do a transaction. It's cash payments, although in Nigeria today we are beginning to embrace cashless policy, so transfers are now happening, but ideally it has always been a cash-based business. And then there's manual customer service. So if there's a problem with the product you've bought or the service that you've used, you have to go back to them and discuss with them, and they try to solve the problem for you. Store visits are always required. You have to maybe drive down from Ajah to Lekki to come to the shop that you like to shop from, but it's a distance, you just have to go through it. And then it's, normally generic marketing. What does modern e-commerce offer us today? It's 24/7 operations. Like you don't sleep. The store never closes. The business never closes. So I'll give you guys a little bit of insight. At Jumia, we record the highest number of sales at night, from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. So when we show up in the morning, it is a load of orders. Why is it happening that way? It's because during the day, everybody is busy. I don't think I've pressed my phone since I arrived here. And I've not pressed my phone since that time. I probably will not touch it until maybe 3 o'clock or thereabout. But there's really no time because I have to be productive in doing other things during the day. Now when it is in the night, when they are back home, they are resting, that is when they press their phones. And then you begin to see orders. So it's open 24/7. Your overhead cost will obviously reduce. You have improved efficiency. You're not paying, maybe LOMA, for example. You're not paying local government fees, for example. You're not paying generator costs if you are working from home, so to speak, if you have good electricity in your area. It's an omni-channel experience as well, too. So you don't have to, you don't have to, maybe customers are ordering from your platform today, then you don't have to say, okay, when you order from here, switch onto this side to go and order for a ride or a delivery that will bring it to you, then go to this side. Everything has to happen on one platform. So as the customer is checking out, it's already, the customer is already expecting delivery, and you are already, providing that. So it's one channel that allows for all of that to happen. Hi guys, at the back. Okay, before that continues, right? I'm still talking about e-commerce and what it can do for us, right? So there is equally the opportunity wherein e-commerce helps you to bridge across geographies, right? So you can be in Nigeria today and someone in Ghana is asking you questions about I think the Sterling Bank lady already said she envisioned where she was going to in Ghana from Nigeria because she was able to see the experience from other people online that they've posted. So across geographies, e-commerce can actually help you move your trade. And it's a mobile first shopping. I'm going to come to this particular topic towards the end of the slides. But and then you also have personalized recommendations, right? So you see some kind of communications that are tailored towards you when it comes to the kind of products that you shop, right? So like Ezekiel had mentioned, the guy who wants to buy a Rolls Royce, emails will not be going out to somebody who is living somewhere outside of, prime areas in Lagos, for example. So that personalization is, that can happen because of e-commerce. So what is this shift? Customers are now moving fluidly between social media, websites, mobile apps, physical stores. They're just moving seamlessly across it, all right? And so as businesses, we have to position ourselves for consumers because this is how they move. So when you say, oh, I cannot put my business on TikTok because, my business is very touche and very, maybe ABC, you most likely be losing a lot of customers who are viewing experiences and businesses on that platform. So you must make yourself flexible and adaptable. I want to discuss quickly online booking systems as experience engines, right? Why online booking matters, the industries that are winning with online booking, and what is the winning formula. Why does online booking matters? I think the first things first is that it reduces wait time. And I think that is what is going on at our passport offices today, for example. If you visited it probably, 5-6 years ago, you probably meet more than the 100 people Ezekiel mentioned. Nowadays, you can do a lot of stuff online, and then when it is time, they notify you, you go, you capture, you go back home, and then they tell you it's time to deliver, right? It reduces that wait time. Even in the banks, I don't think I've been to a bank since probably after COVID. I don't think I've been to the bank since that time, right? Because everything is you can do it on your mobile phone, it's fast, it's seamless. Better customer planning as well to improve operational efficiencies, 24/7 availability, increase customer satisfaction. Like these things are hitting the nail on the head. You literally don't need to do so much to understand why online booking matters. And the industries that are winning with online booking, hospitality and travels, one of the biggest winners with online bookings and placements, healthcare, events and entertainment, logistics, delivery, beauty and wellness, the spas that you have around Nigeria today, online retail. Jumia is a part of this particular industry. These are the industries that win with online booking. And as businesses, you need to find a way to provide customers with very simple step booking options, right? Your customers should not spend time either trying to register to use a service, trying to check out to use a service. I think at Jumia, our checkout steps are actually 3. You put an item in your cart, you tell us that you want it to be delivered to ABC, and then you tell us if you want us to deliver before you pay or you pay before we deliver. There's 3 steps. We're trying to see how we can make it 2. It has to be short because the customer's attention span is reducing by the day, right? So you need to fix yourself properly with those things. So what is the winning formula? If you've got easy booking plus instant confirmation and flexible payment, you would have high conversion rates. What you have there is high conversion. You'll be able to have people come into your funnel, people able to buy your product as fast as they can, right? Easy booking, instant confirmation. When you order on some certain platform, as soon as you add it to cart and you check out, you see one very big logo ticked like this in green. It just gives you that assurance that, you know, this thing has been confirmed. So this hotel is booked. I don't need to bother myself again. I'll get it as soon as I get there, right? So this is the winning formula that, you know, as businesses, you need to put into consideration so that you can achieve the highest conversion rates. Digital payments, the trust factor. So what customers want, they want faster checkout. Emphasis on the word faster. If your checkout is fast today, the customer wants it faster. That is what they're looking out for. So at every point in time, you need to find a way to continue to innovate what you already have. You know, master classes like these offer us the opportunity to learn maybe some new industry tricks, for example, that works really well, and then you can go back and iterate and adapt. Secure transaction, multiple payment options. Multiple payment option is very, very important, and I think as of today, we are beginning to even see opportunities where people can now pay with crypto, right? So it's not just cash alone. Opportunities to be able to use maybe eNaira, for example. These are flexible payment options that businesses need to begin to put into consideration. Flexible payment methods. Now, what are the key payment trends that we have? There's wallet payment. There are bank transfers, which is, you know, very common with us. There's BNPL. You buy now and you pay later. I think my friends at Sterling Bank, they do a lot of that. We recently introduced it on Jumia as well too. So you can come and shop online. You want to buy a TV, you want to buy high value items, and you can pay across 6 months, right? It has to be flexible. And then mobile money as well too. You need to be able to allow your customers to pay for your service, even if it is dialing codes, for example. You know, if they are not using smartphones, you need to give them all of these opportunities because these are trends that are happening. And what is the business impact? Companies that simplify payments, they often see higher conversion rates. So when we started off Jumia in 2013, it was you need to check out, you need to pay before you check out. You need to pay before you check out. But at some point, we decided to switch it up a little bit and started to offer the consumer the opportunity to pay before they, get the items delivered to them before they pay. And we saw very high conversion rates. We saw lower cart abandonment. We saw repeat purchases as well too, because that was helping us to, you know, convert the customers, to build trust in the e-commerce businesses that you have today. Customer engagement is the new marketing. Maybe Ezekiel, I don't think he would differ with me on this one. But for customers, right? winning platforms, they use push notifications, they use email personalizations, they use AI chat support, they create loyalty programs. Loyalty program is even an emerging industry in Nigeria today. It's very big in the US and in developed countries, economies. Loyalty program as a business is very important that you should key into it. You need to be able to offer your consumers rewards when they use your platform, when they interact with your service or your product, right? And the goal is that we want to be able to turn buyers to repeat customers. If someone buys from you today, he will most likely come tomorrow to buy. But this is not the end goal. The end goal is that we want these repeat customers to become brand advocates. Once they are brand advocates, you are set for life, literally. If anybody tells you, you see Toyota in Nigeria today, why do people use Toyota a lot? It's because they're just brand advocates. They tell you, oh, buy Toyota, it will last you for a very long time. You repair it very cheaply, blah, 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 blah. You need to get your consumers to that level. Once you get to that level, I don't think you need to do too much anymore, right? You produce, even if you don't produce the right product or you even give them the wrong thing, they continue to support you, right? And the key insight here is that customer experience is now the strongest marketing opportunity. It is the strongest. Consumer experience. Once your customers are happy, excited about your service levels, it is easy for them to actually preach it for you. And when they preach, it will go geometric, right? So that is the level we want to get to, and that is the kind of understanding we want to have. How do we blend physical and online experiences? Now, omnichannel is the future, obviously. You need to remember that, where consumers can now order online and pick off offline. They want to view product online and come to your store and buy it. They want to return anywhere. They want to return anywhere within generous timeline. Very important. They want to be able to return the product if it's not working for them within a generous timeline that you have provided. At Jumia, we offer 7 days from the customers who sell in our marketplaces, and for brands that are partnering with us, they offer up to 15 days return policies. All right? So, and they want to be able to track delivery at any point in time. They wake up in the night, they open the app, they want to check it, they see that, oh, it's close to you, another 1 day it will arrive. That is where they want to be. Successful brands that integrate physical touch points, digital conveniences, unified customer data, and consistent customer service are the guys who are able to blend these experiences. So if you've got a hotel, you've got a tourism business, you've got a website where you sell product, you need to be able to blend physical experiences with online experiences as well, because that's how customers, they move fluidly, like we mentioned at the earlier part. Okay, so to close, right, what makes an e-commerce journey unforgettable? Why would people come to your platform and then they enjoy what they've seen, they enjoy what they've bought, and then they are turning from repeat customers to brand advocates? Simplicity. Your platform needs to be simple. You need to have easy navigation and faster checkout. Your speed is equally important as well too. You need to be fast, responsive, and you need to, your fulfillment needs to be on point. Personalizations as well too. So you need to provide relevant recommendations and communicate with your customers more effectively. When you receive an email from, I don't know, maybe Piggyverse, for example, and it says, "Dear Emmanuel," it feels very personal, and you would want to open it to read more, to find out what it is, right? Businesses are able to apply all of this kind of personalization, and then they curate the kind of content that should come to you, right? Support 24/7, right? Responsive customer service across all channels. If your customers are chatting you on TikTok, on WhatsApp, they are calling your lines or something, you need to be very responsive. And of course, trust, right? If you are offering reliable delivery, transparent pricing, secured payments, your customers' trust levels will increase and you'll be able to see conversions higher. Now, I want to talk about this particular empty space. I left it there because all of this, we may not be able to achieve it 100% if we do not have a mobile presence. Very, very important, because there is a significant portions of users and they all use their mobile phones. So if you have a platform, a business, a service, products you sell, it must be mobile first ready. The platform has to, if you want to create an app, for example, you don't keep it web-based alone. It has to be on the mobile phones, because that is where a significant portion of users, they spend their time, right? So as e-commerce businesses, target mobile presence. Very important for you to be able to scale and see the kinds of conversions that you want. Okay, so I've come to the end of my slide, but I need us to see the tech, please. Is it? Not sure, it's not responsive. Hi guys, I want us to see the call to action. I think it's the last slide. Okay, so I guess I would run through this. So it's our call to action. I want us to focus on what we need to do leaving this room, right? Okay. Yes, opportunity for businesses in Nigeria. Okay, yes, there's one more slide. I think my time is up. What are the growth drivers? Rising smartphone penetration is important. This one, we cannot overemphasize it. So you need to be present online. There is a young digital population, and it's very big, aged. The guys who shop on Jumia, the largest age bracket is 16 to 47. Those are the guys who shop the most. Month in, month out, that's where we have the highest count of shoppers. So there's increased fintech adoption as well too. We have opportunities with the microfinance banks that are giving us increased penetration, and then social commerce growth as well too. Expanding logistics infrastructure, all of these are growth drivers that e-commerce businesses should begin to use. And what should businesses do? You need to invest in digital infrastructure. You need to improve your customer service. You need to embrace digital payments, flexibility in that regard. You need to build trust through reliability, and then use data for personalization. Because the reality is that businesses that prioritize customer experience will dominate the next decade. Literally, they are actually the ones who are going to win, because a customer experience is now the most important thing. So, our call to action today. Service is the new sales strategy. It's very important. Service is way better than even the product that you want to sell. You should be able to sell the service around that particular product. In today's digital economy, visibility will attract attention, but experience will build loyalty, and trust will drive your growth. It's very important as well. And the future belongs to businesses that combine technology with human connection, those that are delivering convenience consistently, and then creating memorable customer journeys. I think this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Once again, let's put down together for Mr. Nicholas. Wow. Well, I won't say much about that Jumia thing. I don't know whether your virus has caught me or I've caught your virus. I don't know, but something keeps driving me to Jumia every time to make my purchases. Once again, let's put down together for Jumia. Module 3, I must confess, these presenters have been keeping to time. I don't know why, but I think I understand them. We go to the module 3, human resources, which is people and performance. Chief People Experience Officer at Leadway Assurance Company Limited, Mrs. Kumbi Adeoti, I'm told. She's represented here today by Mr. Toshuku Osakwe, Head, Performance Management and Organization Development at Leadway Assurance Company Limited. Please make welcome Mr. Toshuku Osakwe for his presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? I think we've been sitting for too long, so if we could just do something for a minute. Can we all stand? So that you have blood through your body. Multimedia, if you don't mind, you can put up my slide while we do this. So I want us to do something very quickly. Pick a partner, and I will advise that you pick your partner really wisely, because we're going to do something very quickly. Now, it's a very short activity. It's a sing-song, so whatever I say, so you do what I say, and you say what I say as well, all right? So let's clap our hands. The name of the game is always the same. The name of the game is always the same. Now, do we have our partners? Good. Shoulder to shoulder, so you hit your shoulder with the next person. Shoulder to shoulder. The name of the game is always the same. The name of the game is always the same. Shoulder to shoulder. You're supposed to say it, you're supposed to do it. Shoulder to shoulders. Elbows to elbows. Leg to leg. I was tempted to say mouth to mouth, but I wouldn't. All right, please be seated. Okay. Again, just like the presenter had mentioned, my name is Tochukwu Osakwe. I head performance management and organizational development for the Leadway Group. We're going to be talking about the people side of things today. Now, the very first two speakers have talked about marketing. They've spoken about e-commerce. And one thing was common to everything that they said: experience, connection. Now, at the heart of everything that they've said is people. And now, so for the next 30 minutes, we're going to be looking at rethinking the most important decisions that we're going to make as industry leaders, as leaders in our respective organizations, and that's the people side of things. Now, before I do that, I want to ask a question, actually. I need you to think about a hotel, an airline, a restaurant, whatever. Multimedia, I'm sure this is not working. I need you to think about a restaurant, a hotel, airline, whatever tourism attraction that you've ever visited anywhere in the world. And I need to think about this personally and not professionally. Now, what made you remember that experience? I need you to think about that very carefully. And then I don't mind if anyone is going to respond to me. So just point your hand and I'll just beckon on you to speak. We've thought about it. What made you remember that experience? Who's going to try? Sorry? The people, okay? Who else? The service, okay? I heard somebody say something over there. The ambience, fantastic. So the question is, what made it memorable? Multimedia. Sorry, multimedia, your stuff is not working. Okay. Now, is it the friendly, warm staff? Is it the quick, proactive service? Is it the problem that was resolved without any fuss? Or was it the unexpected attention to detail? Or did you feel genuinely valued? One thing is common to all of these things that you see there. It wasn't technology that did all of these things. It's people. And that is why it is very important that we actually take this session really seriously. Now, beyond all the fancy things that are existent in the tourism or hospitality sector, people enable those things. And without people, you will not get it right. Now, let's look at the very important question again. What is your biggest people challenge here today? For those of us that are leaders here, we're going to do something, and I'll call out some of the issues here, and then I want to see show of hand. I'm going to do a quick survey. Now, is it hiring good staff? Okay, I only see 2 hands. Is it training your staff effectively? Now, even if you're not an industry leader, and even if you're not a leader in your organization, you work somewhere, and I'm sure you are very aware of the things that happen in your organization. All right? Is it training them, or is it managing their performance, or retaining them? So which of these issues do we experience today? How many of us hiring good staff is an issue for us? Let me see your hand. 1, there's no shame in this thing. It's affecting everybody. So you need to be as honest as possible. So I say about 4 hands. How about training your staff effectively? Is that a challenge? I see only 1 hand. I see 2. Okay. Is it retaining good staff? I mean, if your business is 5 years, are you going to tell me that it is the employees that you started your business with that you have now? Is it managing staff performance? So, and we're going to be looking at these 4 key areas today because the topic literally is what? Developing and growing high-performing team in the hospitality and tourism sector. Now, it is very important to pay attention to how the people that you have in your organization come into your organization. And that is why hiring is the most important thing. It is not even about, your biggest issue should not be how you retain them or how you train them. The issue that you have starts from the very beginning. Who comes in through that door? Who are the people that are going to be interfacing with all of the processes, the systems, and even the customers that you've worked so hard to get? It is the people. And so we're going to be looking at hiring. Hiring right. I don't know why this thing is, I think the battery is down, if you could get me. Okay. Now I'm going to look at something actually. Now, if we remember what the 2 first speakers had mentioned, talking about e-commerce, talking about marketing, all of those things. Now, what is the real product here? Now, hospitality or tourism, you don't sell rooms. You don't sell food. You don't sell transportation. You don't sell attraction, even though these are the things that's going to be in the invoices that you issue out to the people who patronize your businesses. Rather, what you are in the business of is what? You sell experience. Sorry, multimedia, if you just help me control it from there because this thing isn't working. You sell experiences, you sell memories, you sell emotions, and you sell connections. Now, the bridge between these 2 is what? People. And that is why we must pay attention to who we bring into our organization. Okay, this thing is messing me up. Okay, I'll just go on with what I have here. Now, interestingly, a lot of organizations focuses, and I've sat in a lot of interview sessions, and a lot of organizations focus more on the things that people can do rather than what they are. And so you end up seeing that we hire people for what they can do and then fire them for who they really are. Now, there is a big disconnect in the hiring process. Now, there is there's a popular saying that attitude is everything. You can train an individual with a competency gap, but you cannot fix an attitudinal problem. All right? Now, you can see that skills can be taught, but attitude cannot be changed. So you can teach people how to do your reservation systems, your hotel, food and beverage procedures, your service standards, your digital and AI tools that you've put in place, your sales and upscaling techniques. But you cannot teach kindness. You can't teach empathy for guests. You can't teach respect for colleagues. You can't teach passion for service. And of course, you can't teach accountability and ownership. And oftentimes, most organizations spend so much time quizzing and interviewing people on the things that they can teach, as opposed to who they are as an individual. And that's where the mistake often comes into play. Now, this is the formula for hiring right in the hospitality and tourism sector. Please pardon me. All right? Now, 40% of whatever assessment you're supposed to be doing in bringing in people into your organization should be focused on attitude. Their energy, their warmth, and resilience. Those are things they're supposed to be paying attention to. 30% is emotional intelligence, because whether you like it or not, the customers that you are selling your service to are very interesting people. Are we going to deny the fact that some customers can be from the pit of hell? Now, if you don't have people with the right attitude, what do you think is going to happen? One terrible, badly behaved customer coming in contact with one badly behaved employee is going to bring down your business. So which is why you must pay attention to this. 20% is the cultural fit. What is the mission, vision, and objective of the organization? Is this individual the right fit for my organization? If this is what we stand for, if this is what we represent, the people I'm bringing into my organization, do they fit? Are they a culture fit? So you need to ask yourself that question. And then just 10% is literally the technical skills that is required, because this is what you can teach as an organization. And you can see 10%. But more often than not, organizations spend more time quizzing people on this 10% when they are supposed to be dealing with the top 3 areas. Now, we don't have that much time. I was going to mirror a very popular service company, which is the Southwest Airlines, and let's even see what strategies that they put in place that we can implement. All right? Now, these are some attitudes to screen during your hiring process. Positive energy. I mean, it's the tourism industry, it's the hospitality. What you're selling is an experience. It's a connection. So you need people with the right energy. People who are customer focused. So for every time they open their mouth to speak, whatever they are thinking, the customer is at the center of everything that they are doing. Curiosity. Do they ask probing questions to the customers? You know the kind of questions that you ask, and the customer is feeling as if I am seen, I am heard, because of the kind of questions that they're asking. Adaptability, their ability to handle whatever pressure that is going on in the day with grace. Not because you have very high volume of requests, you're getting worked up, or you've lost your temper. All right? Team spirit. Are they the kind of people that want to step on every other individual to succeed, or they enable others so that we grow together as an organization? And accountability. When there is a mistake, are you shifting blames, or are you taking ownership? So these are some of the things you must pay attention to. Now, rather than asking questions like, what are your strengths? I mean, how many of us have gone through 10 interviews and they asked you this question? Let's be honest now. This is literally the first question a lot of HR people ask. And it's not a bad question, but unfortunately, we now have a generation of very sharp thinking people who have studied your entire manual. So there is no question. I mean, nowadays, if you are going for an interview, you go and ask ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI tool they have, what are the kind of questions that this organization gets to ask me? And it will give you everything. More often than not, this is what it's going to give to you. But if you actually want to hire people for who they are, then you must ask the question, tell me about how you handled a difficult customer. This one, ChatGPT won't tell you this one. You must have experienced it. All right? You can't be asking questions, why do you want this job? Rather, you should ask, tell me about a mistake you made at work. All right? What did you do? Rather asking, are you a team player? I mean, if you ask me if I'm a team player, what do you think my response is going to be? I'll tell you yes. Rather, you should ask, when did you last go beyond your job description? What happened? All right? Do you handle pressure well? How many of us, when we were interviewing for our jobs, you tell the hiring manager that I have a high ability to work under pressure. And then when pressure comes, what happens? Rather, you should ask, what does excellent service personally mean to you as an individual? So you're able to mirror their thought process, how they think. And some organizations actually go a step further to do personality assessments, whether you like it or not. I know some people who claim or argue that they've jigged how to answer personality questions, but that thing is almost 99% correct. If you answer those questions very well, it mirrors who you are. So that's a step further for you to actually know who it is that you are hiring. Now, the next question is, how then do you train the people that you have brought into the system? Now, a lot of organizations make mistake. Once they train you on your induction day, that's the end of it. Sometimes, because if you are in an industry that is heavily regulated by your regulators or whatever, and there are compulsory courses that must be done, that is when everybody gets trained. Oh, there's one compliance training, there's one regulatory training. So most of the times, they are heavily theoretical. You send people to classroom for trainings, the facilitator just says a lot of things, no interaction to ask questions. Oh, so person handle this situation there, what I can learn from it, or you don't even put people in real life scenarios. And that's why organizations are beginning to invest in your augmented reality, your virtual reality, to put people in actual situations and then see how they behave. All right? Now, what high-performing organizations, as we progress, I will show you what it means to be labeled a high-performing organization. Now, high-performing organizations are now focusing more on continuous micro-learning. Now, in my organization, because, we have a hotel, which is the Leola Hotel, one of the things we do, because of the nature of the work that they do, it's going to be difficult to pull out a hotel staff to go and sit in the classroom. So we have lots of bite-sized learning. Do you know that you can actually curate your learning into things like TikTok, Twitter, or even bite-sized that can actually be learned on WhatsApp, or short YouTube videos? How many of us are aware that that can happen? Because you have to tailor the kind of training content that you're delivering to the kind of employees and the nature of work that they do. If you decide to send everybody in your hotel for training today, what do you think? What will happen to your customers? So when you know that that's kind of business that you are, then you must create the kind of learnings that. Now, coaching is embedded in their day-to-day work. Now, the typical model for training is the 70-20-10 model. Now, the question is, where are you investing your training budgets? As someone in hospitality or tourism, do you invest more? How many of us spend more money on sending people on physical trainings? It's not a trick question. Neither am I going to rate your performance on this one. I think you could just, it's simple. Do you train your people? Do you send them to classroom trainings? Is that where your budget goes to? Or do you invest in them learning on the job? Which do we spend our budget on? On the job. Fantastic. All right? Now, there is more practicals rather than the theoretical aspects of training. And lastly, all of these trainings is linked to what? Performance. So you are tracking. 3 months before I trained this person, what was the performance like? 3 months after I trained the person, what was the performance like? All right? So you're able to track, okay? Now, in today's hospitality or tourism space, these are some priorities that must be, your employees are supposed to be trained on. Customer service, complaint resolution, emotional intelligence, very important. Cross-cultural communication, that is very important because the world has become a global village. So your customers more often than not are mostly going to be multinationals. So if your employees are not trained to communicate with foreign nationals, you're going to have very big problem. You should know what to say to a Nigerian that you cannot say to an English person. So that also is very important. You must also train them on selling and upselling. So if you run an organization with multiple services, you should be able to what? Cross-sell. So even if the customer is buying your hospitality service today, you should be able to what? Sell tourism. You should be able to sell what? If you have partnership with an airline or so. So the ability for them to cross-sell is also very important. And of course, we're in the world of digitization, AI. You should train your workforce to be in tune with the times that we're in. Now, this is what the high-performance team really is. Now, they consistently exceed customer expectations across every touch point. So they go above and beyond the job description. Your revenue, loyalty, and your reputation will grow because of how your team is performing. They work together across functions. So it's not a case of I'm in front office, I'm in kitchen, I'm in room service, or what. Everybody works seamlessly because together they are trying to make what? An experience that is memorable for the customer. All right? They respond to change, guest complaints, and surprise without even breaking sweat. So you want to develop a team that can adapt to change quickly. Now, COVID came and showed a lot of organizations that they were not ready for sudden change. And that's one very beautiful thing that has come with COVID, right? Now, a lot of organizations now have their sustainability department, their rapid response department. So we're all being trained, if this kind of scenario happens, how do we quickly adapt? If this kind of thing happens, how do we adapt? All right? And then, of course, performance is not just on the day that the manager is watching. Performance cuts across whether you are watching or not. All right? Now, if we do all of the things that we have mentioned, organizations that are high performing, they get to have 3 times more revenue from a very highly engaged hospitality team. Now, hospitality teams that are very big on the people that they bring into the door, they seem to perform 3 times more than their counterparts. All right? Now, 89% of guests, they say that staff attitude makes them want to come back or not show up again. And then, of course, your turnover, your attrition levels, the number of times employees leave your organization is reduced by 40% if you focus on the things that we've talked about today. Now, the question is, how do we retain people? Why do people really leave? If you were to ask a question to your best performing employee today, or rather, if your best employee decides to drop their resignation letters today, what do you think their reasons will be? Now, we did a survey. 68% of employees typically say that they leave because of bad managers. 62% will tell you no career growth. 58% will tell you lack of recognition. 51% will tell you what? Pay, poor salaries. And then 44% will tell you that the culture is toxic. Now, if you look very closely, salary is number 4. The others on the list, what are they? How employees are managed. So that tells you that people are an integral part of the hospitality and tourism sector. Now, what your employees really want, it's really simple. They're not even asking for so much. Growth. I want to be able to see a growth path. If I stay in this organization for 5 years, what is my growth trajectory? If I came in as a front officer or front desk person, after 2 years, what's the next level for me? I want to be able to see that, all right? I want to get recognition for every time I go above and beyond for my job. I want to get remunerated according to what the market is paying, so that I don't end up looking outside to your competitor to give me a job. I want to see some form of flexibility. I don't want to be micromanaged. I want my manager to trust me that I can deliver, all right? I want some form of respect. You know that respect is a two-way street. The employee can recognize the organization, but the organization must respect the employees as human beings, not costs. And that's where toxic cultures in many organizations, if you study toxic work cultures in Nigeria, they see employees as just what? Costs. And so when an employee is leaving, the disposition is we can easily what? Replace. But guess what? The cost of replacing one staff is at least 50 to 75% more than the annual salary of the person occupying that role. So if your turnover is too high, you're running at a loss. So it's even cheaper for an organization to have a workforce that has stayed through the years, as opposed to having to renew. And I mean, if I decide to leave my job today, if they are bringing somebody to take over my job, I can bet you my organization will pay 3 times what they are paying me now in the market. All right? They want to know that their work is meaningful. If they're able to connect to the purpose of that organization, you would have a very high performing team. And then lastly, a sense of belonging. I want to be able to see that my contribution is making impact. I want to see that I am part of the decision making for that business. And that's why a lot of organizations are beginning to churn out innovation labs where their employees are the one changing processes and systems in the organization. Now, I've put together a framework that is going to help the hospitality and tourism sector to retain their workforce, recognize people for the littlest things. When I joined my organization, if you do anything, you will hear, well done, well done. At some point, I was like, is it more than this little thing? But I saw that it was a culture. And you know what the word well done does to you as an individual? It spurs you to do more. So recognize people for the littlest things that they've done. Engagement, involve your team in whatever decision you are making in that organization. If you are going to change dress code, please involve your workforce. If you are going to change resumption time, involve them in decision making. Let them feel that they are part of that organization. All right? Invest in their growth. Train your workforce. All right? Show them the career path. Ensure that there is a standard career map in your organization. Anybody should be able to tell, oh, if I stay in this organization for the next 5 years, this is what my growth part is. Accompany it with a competency framework where I know that if I am an analyst or I'm an entry-level staff, if I take 1, 2, 3, 4 trainings, I am ready to move on to what? The supervisory level. Arm them with that, and they will stay in your organization. All right? Inclusion. Ensure that everybody feels, so you want to have a workforce that is diverse, that is inclusive. You should have an equal amount of men, equal amount of women, ethnicity, you have it across board, all of those things. And of course, this is most important, develop your leaders, because people leave bad managers, not the organization. Now, this is how the hospitality sector has changed. Now, in the old leadership, it was command and control. Do as I say, results only, your feelings is irrelevant, just do what I've told you. Information is usually at the top. So when management is about to make a decision, it's strictly at the C-suite level. Those at the lower cadres have no knowledge of what's happening. You just wake up one morning and policies have changed, all right? They use fear as a motivator. So when a manager comes in, everybody's scurrying to their desk or they're all pretending to be working. And of course, there's more compliance over commitment. But that's dead and long gone. The hospitality sector of today is more of what? Connect and inspire. That is the kind of leadership that will drive high performance in the industry. I ask and I listen. I want to hear you speak. All right? Performance and well-being must go together. You cannot drive performance at the risk of the mental health of the employee. I mean, I was seeing on the internet recently a contact center agent who slumped and died while on duty. Unfortunately, she had requested for time off, but they didn't listen. All right? Transparency builds trust. If leadership is saying one thing, let them do exactly as they have said. All right? Purpose as a motivator, not fear. So if this is the strategic direction the organization is headed, communicate it to your entire workforce. All right? And then commitment over compliance. Now, I'm coming to a close. There are 4 behaviors that for empathetic leaders. Number 1, you must have the ability to listen. You must understand. You must show support. And you must act. In fact, it says empathy without action is what? It's sympathy. But empathy is a leadership skill. Your ability to put yourself in the shoes of the people that report to you. So you know how they're feeling. You know where it hurts them. That way you are able to actually work on it. All right? This is supposed to be a question of, this is supposed to be an activity actually, but I'll just skip through that. Now, this is what your employees need from you today as leaders, psychological safety. They want to feel that if I voice out my pain, you won't judge me. You won't penalize me for it. You won't victimize me for it. Rather, you will take the feedback that I have given. As leaders here, if your team members gives you a feedback, do you take it or do you wait for the person in appraisal time? That's the question for you to think about. They need you to care about their well-being. They need you to recognize them. They need you to invest in their development. They need you to trust them to do their job. Now, speaking about trust, the person who was invited for this is the group head of HR for the Leadway Group. She's not in the country, and she asked me to come do it. That's trust. She has not spoken to me. She doesn't know what I'm presenting here today, but she just believes that I will come here and I will do a fantastic job and leave. That is trust. All right? And then, of course, purpose. They need to understand how their role is tied to the overall strategic objectives of the organization. I always tell those in my organization, even the security men at the gates, they have a role to play in the vision. So if everybody understands the direction of the organization, high performance will just be a sing-song for you. All right? Of course, these are some things that high-performance organizations are doing differently. They hire for value. They develop their leaders early. They invest in learning. They reward performance. They build trust. And then they create employee experience. So we will leave with this. This is a model to drive high performance. I've tagged it hyper. H means higher for attitude, not skills. Invest in learning. Grow future leaders. Leadership development should start at the very entry. Don't wait for someone to become a manager before you begin to train people to be leaders. And that's one of the issues we have today in Nigeria, because our curriculum at elementary school doesn't speak to leadership. So we now have leaders who don't think like human beings ruling us as a nation. Now, human-centered leadership. Build leaders with empathy. All right? Purpose, engagement, and what? Recognition. Now, I'm going to leave with this statement. Now, technology can support service. Processes can improve it. Buildings can even enhance it. But only people will create that experience and memory for your customers. So you go back to your organizations, look at your people differently. They are not a cost center. They are your competitive advantage if you take care of your people. Thank you.
Once again, please let's put our hands together for Mr. Toshukwu Ozakwe. I must confess, if your group head is following us online the way we are streaming, she must be very proud of what you have delivered. Once again, let's put our hands together for Mr. Ozakwe. So we'll go to what is the last point, the last module for today. I'm told he's speaking to us online. I want to be sure that our team is certain that he's with us. Gafara, do we have him with us? Are we good? Are we good? I can't hear you. Okay, yes, he's here.
But I am virtually speaking.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bode.
Welcome to this session. And in this session today, our focus is on AI, the big subject, AI, and specifically AI in tourism. In terms of what we will be learning in this session today, I would like to start with helping us see the art of the possible. Where is this technology as of today? Some of us already have many of this technology in our hands, and sometimes you may not realize how powerful they've been so far. We'll be looking at that. This is a very interactive session, and so please bear with me. I'm going to be asking you to do a number of things on your phones, on your smart devices, as part of this session. So if you haven't already, please bring out your smart devices because you will need it throughout this session today. Highly interactive, we'll start with the art of the possible, and then we're going to go down into more details, into how is AI currently being used in the tourism space, across the different aspects of tourism. Then we will go into some additional information around strategy, the best use of AI strategy. We need to think about ethics. We need to understand that although this technology is really good, it still makes mistakes, it still has challenges from time to time. And so it's important that we're able to walk through all of these within this session today. So you're welcome again, and thank you for joining us during this session. Now, the question I'm going to ask now is this. It's a question which I've been speaking with you for just a few moments now, and I have a question for you, which is this. Is this Bade speaking to you, or is this my digital twin speaking to you? I'm going to wave my hand across my face because this used to be one of the ways to know if this is a digital twin of Bade speaking to you. I'm going to check, make sure you see that I don't have any background on, because this used to be part of the ways to know if this is me or this is my digital twin. And so I'm going to pause for a moment, and I want you to observe very carefully. Is this Bade speaking to you, or is this Bade's digital twin speaking to you at this moment? Okay? All right. So if you think this is Bade speaking to you right now, can you raise your hand in the room? All right. If you think this is Bade's digital twin speaking to you right now, could you raise your hand in the room? For those who may not be, and thank you for those that raised their hands right now, on one side or the other. For those who may not be familiar, a digital twin is a virtual representation of any object, any physical object. And in this case, individuals are trained their digital twin to be able to speak, look, and exactly like them. So you're able to give your digital twin different scripts and so on. Now, to give you the answer to the question, at this moment, it is actually Bade presenting in person, physically. However, please pay close attention because sometime during this presentation, I will hand over to my digital twin, which is going to take some part of the session, and I would wonder whether or not you will observe when we do that switch. So pay attention because that is coming as part of this session. And all of this is to help us continue to see the art of the possible as regards AI today. We're focused on the tourism industry today, but the truth is that this same technology, AI, has changed the entire global landscape. So the only parts where AI is being used is not just tourism, but we want to focus on tourism to say, how can you as a business owner, how can you as a professional in the tourism space, how can you leverage this technology to be able to do much more as at this period of time? And so when I say tourism, there are so many different parts of tourism, and I'm going to speak to all of these different parts during my session today. And so we can start with the accommodation area where in hotels today, we are now seeing hotels that is all AI. We saw last year, it went viral in the news, an hotel where everything was to be managed by AI. Yes, as of today, those are not 100% accurate, and so they typically would have people in the background who are controlling the AI. They typically would have people being able to show, to say, oh, in terms of if something goes wrong and so on, or in some cases, the AI may not get exactly what you're saying. So we usually would have technical support in the background. Similar to self-driving cars. We have self-driving cars across multiple cities in the US at the moment. In London, they are testing it, and across many major cities of the world. They're testing it. And so as of today, there are companies where if you book an Uber in some cities today, it's a 1 in 10 chance that the car that will pick you up will have no driver, just your regular Uber. But then if you use a platform like Waymo, it would be a 10 in 10 chance that the car that will pick you up is driverless. Many of these have existed for many years now. We look and that's on the transportation sector. What about attractions? We're seeing more and more virtual reality combined with AI. Recently, the artist that sang Mamma Mia, they went on a tour, and it was an immersion, a massive one between the virtual digital identity, their digital twin, AI controlled, plus them in person. Of course, they were much older, so their younger self and them in person. Fantastic implementation, fantastic use cases. The World Cup is going on, and I'm speaking around the attractions sector at the moment. The World Cup is going on, and do you all know that every one of the World Cup balls, they actually have chips in them? All of these controlled by AI. It's supposed to be able to tell things like offside and if it's a goal, the VAR, and so on. What about tour operators in terms of organizing tours and so on? We also see lots and lots of uses of AI in this sector. We're seeing opportunity to personalize tours in a sense that you can hyper-personalize to say, oh, this is exactly what my specific client wants at this point in time, in terms of location, in terms of what is going on at different aspects of this particular tour, and so on. And nations, organizations are building AI tools, AI workflows, AI agents to be able to help their work get better. And so all of this is part of what we will learn during this session today. All of this is how I want us to start seeing the art of the possible. Of course, this is a short session. What I want to make sure is that you know how to continue finding some of these information. I want to make sure that you are able to, regardless of what level you are as at today, as at this moment, I want a situation where you now know exactly what you need to do next as we go into this journey. And so just so that I know who I'm speaking to as well, there are four levels that we've sort of categorized in terms of AI adoption. And so I would like to know what level you are at this moment in time. Level 0 would be for the newbies. You haven't really used AI, you've been learning AI, artificial intelligence, generative AI, and the like, ChatGPT, but you haven't really used it. I'll call that level 0. Level 1 would be you now use these AI tools maybe once or twice or 3 times during a week. And so you now learn to use your general assistant. And when I say general assistant in this session today, anyone you currently use, please continue using it. So if you currently use Meta AI, if you continue using Gem, if you use Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude, or you can name other examples as well, the ones you use, Grok, Manus, please continue using those general assistants. We are not going to change your general AI assistant as of today. What we want to make sure you do is make the best use of that AI, general AI assistant that you currently use. And so I'm talking about levels again. So level 0, never use AI. Level 1, now once or twice a week, you've been using AI as part of your week. Level 2 would be that AI has now become a main part of what you do on a regular basis. And what I mean by that is now you've now adopted AI into some of your lifestyle, into some of the things that you do, into the way you research, into the way you do some of the work you do. You've now configured some automation in terms of AI agents, and some of those agents are able to do some work for you. That will be level 2. And then level 3, which is the advanced, will be people who have been able to train large language model. I didn't say fine-tune, which will be level 2, but train large language model. You are able to rent us AI tokens at the moment. You've downloaded open source model and open weight models, and you've been able to do much more with them, and you're in the field, and so on. That will be level 3. So at this point, I would like you to raise your hand again. So level 0, which would never use AI. Could you please raise your hand in the room? Thank you. Level 1, which are those who are using AI once or twice a week, not really mainstay yet, but you start using it once or twice a week. Could you raise your hand at this point? All right. Thank you. Level 2, which are intermediates, which are people who have now adopted AI. Could you raise your hand in the room? And then finally, level 3, which are those who are done. Could you raise your hand in the room as well? Thank you for participating there. And why I ask this is because regardless of what level you are in the room, my objective for this session is to help you get better, make better use of AI. And so if you bring out your device at this point, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Bade Adeshemo. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Emigrate AI. It's a global talent mobility platform. We help people move countries using AI. We help people move to the UK on the UK Global Talent Visa, or to the US on the US O1 visa, French Tech Visa, and there are quite a number of talent-based visas across the world. We help people across that journey from visa planning to long-term settlement. I'm really excited to be part of this session today, and thank you for the invitation. In terms of the best use of AI pillar that we'll go through very quickly, it would be around strategy, it would be around implementation, it will be around training and then around support. Strategy, understanding exactly what you should be doing at this point. Implementation, being able to build flows, workflows, AI tools for your organization if you need to. Training, part of this is what we're doing right now, which is a training on AI in tourism. And then finally, we're looking at support to say these things are changing very frequently. And so it's important that you are able to make the very best use of AI. So bring out your devices at this point. As I said, it's time for our first exercise. And the exercise is actually a second exercise. But the exercise at this point is I would like you to call up your general AI assistant. Like I said earlier, your general AI assistant can be any one of the ones that you typically have used before. And for those that are level 0, which is never used AI, I want you to call up your WhatsApp. This will only work for WhatsApp, regular WhatsApp, not WhatsApp business. But if you already have WhatsApp business, it is more than likely that you already have ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok, or on your Twitter, there's AI there called Grok with a K, and then there's also Grok with a Q. It doesn't matter which AI which general AI assistant that you use for this exercise. What I would like you to do is say to your general AI assistant, either type it or you can record it to say, tell me what you know about me. That's what I want you to say to your general AI assistant. So I will take it again to say your general AI assistant will be anyone you typically use on a regular daily basis. So ChatGPT is really popular. Gemini is very popular. Claude, that's CLAUD, is very popular. And there are many other assistants like that. And I said, if you are absolute beginner, you've not really used AI before, we can start with Meta AI, which is on your WhatsApp. It's already embedded to your WhatsApp, and that's a good place for you to start your AI adoption journey, which will start moving you from level 0 to level 1, starting to use AI a few times a day. Say to your general assistant, tell me what you know about me. For those on WhatsApp, what you want to do is, if you go on your WhatsApp, you will be able to start a new chat. And on your contact list, you will find Meta AI as one of your contacts in your contact list. The way you chat with other people is what I just want you to do. And what you want to do is chat with your Meta AI and say, tell me what you know about me. You would see your AI telling you some things about you. For those who have been using AI regularly, as long as you have your memory turned on, it would be able to distill from the different conversations that you have had with your AI over a period of time. And so it would be able to say to you some of the things it has deduced from its conversations with you over a period of time, in terms of what it thinks that you like, what it thinks that you're doing, how you think it thinks that what you care about, what outcomes that you are most interested in. And I want you to read some of those, because the question I have for you would be, do you think what is said about you, is it true or is it not true? What your AI is saying about you. Did you find it interesting, some of the things that it already knows about you, even though you may not have explicitly told it some of those things? And for some of us, if you don't have your memory on, or you've not really used AI before, it may not know much about you, but it will guess your location, it will guess your age, it will guess some of the basic things about you. And that's one of our exercises today, for you to just understand that these AI tools are learning about you. And that's part of the reason why I said earlier, whatever AI assistant that you currently use, please continue using it. I know a question that you may ask me is, what's the best AI tool as at today, right? And the answer is that it depends on your use case. If you are at level 2 or level 3, then there's a site called LM Arena. So that's Lima Mango Arena, LM Arena. That's a good place for you to take a look at any point in time what AI model is the best or doing better than the other for different use cases. Because these different models are trained for different use cases. But for today, we're talking to general use, particularly in the tourism space. And so what I would say is, whichever one you started using, continue using, because that will continue learning about you. And the more it knows about you, the better it will be able to serve you in the next time you want it to be able to do something for you, whether it's to answer a question or to help you achieve a specific outcome. And we'll come to AI agents as part of this presentation in a moment. And so, has everybody done that now? Have you gone, tell me what you know about me? Hopefully, you're seeing some things that your AI is saying about you. And for those that have done it, if there's somebody beside you that needs a bit of support getting this done, you can show them what they need to do as well. Start with Meta AI if you're level 0. Use your general assistant, whichever one you've been using before you came into the room, if you're level 1, level 2, or level 3. Your AI will tell you things it knows about you. Your AI will tell you things that it has deduced based on the conversation it has had with you over a period of time. And this is just one of the ways to demonstrate general use cases. Remember, we are here to talk about the specific industry, tourism industry, but I wanted us to start from just general use cases, because that way we can start then deducing to say, if it is this powerful, generally speaking, how about if you now localize it, personalize it, or bring it into your sector? Because globally at the moment, just about 17% of adults worldwide are using AI, according to statistics. And so you are still early adopters if you're already using this tool properly. And maybe this is part of what you should explore to then make your business or your profession better. AI will not take your job, but somebody using AI will take your job. And so part of what you should be doing is that you want to become that somebody using AI so that you can keep your job and do it better. Your competition is already using it. The people in your industry are already using it. And because the landscape is so level at this point in time, this is the time when you want to pay attention as well as an individual, as a professional in the room. Because if you pay attention and you are able to use these tools for your own benefit, you will be better off. Whether you're a business owner in the room, in tourism space, let's talk about travel agents, for example. Because nowadays, yes, it used to be more convenient for some people, rather than going to the airline's website, to use and book through travel agents. And there are some perks for doing so. But many of those personalizations that travel agencies brought are some of the ones now that these AI assistants and tools are able to support. And so, will travel agencies go away? No. Because the travel agents are able to leverage on AI to then better serve their customers, will be better endeared to their customers. And of course, some travel agencies will lose business, but many forward-thinking agencies who are able to leverage on AI and do much more for their customers will be able to win on that race. So some people will lose, some people will win. And what I'm hoping that I'm able to help you do during this session today is help you see that you can win and you will win. AI will not take your job, but somebody using AI will. What we are saying to you is then make the very best use of AI so you can do your job, do it better, do it faster, do it more productive. Supposing I'm here now in VI and I needed to get to Yaba, and then I decided that the way I want to get to Yaba is that I want to walk. Wouldn't you think that I'm foolish if the only reason why I'm doing so is because I decide not to adopt technology? Or I'm not aware that technology exists for me to be able to get to Yaba faster? At the very least, if I can't do anything, I can get in a bus to get to Yaba faster. Or maybe drive to Yaba so that I can get there faster. Or maybe if I have a helicopter, even much better, I'll get there much faster. And this is just using that context. I want you to understand, to say that nowadays, before you would spend hours and hours building presentation, for example, travel plan, for example, itinerary. But now, with AI, you are able to do those in seconds. It will check all of the opening hours. It will check the pricing. It will look at your budget and so on. And we're going to get your AI assistant to do a travel plan for you during this session today. And so while we're continuing this section, I want you to start thinking about your dream vacation, because at some point, I'm going to ask you for it, because we will create a travel plan for your vacation right now on this session. All of these because of the power that AI has brought to us. All of these because of the power of AI. And there's so many other use cases that we can think about. Many use cases that is able to help at different points in time, depending on what it is that you need per time. I will show some more use cases, because that way we can start thinking around what do I want to now adopt as part of my teams, my organization, or my individual use of AI. So maybe this is a slide you want to take a screenshot of, because this gives you an idea of some AI tools that is able to help with different aspects of the general industry today. If you're trying to do presentation, there's an AI tool called Gamma that makes really beautiful presentation. And you can use Gamma to generate it, and you can still edit the presentation in the way that you want to. We've talked about some of the AI chatbots, your general assistants that we talked about. You can be a developer right now. If I was in person with you in the room, we would have built a prototype together using a platform called Lovable or Replit, and so on. With your email, you will find some AI tools that can help you to compose email, reply emails. You can generate images, flyers. Gone are the days where you have to wait for your designer to design a flyer for you, and you have to wait for days to be able to get the corrections done. You can get your AI to design some of these for you right now. And so I want us to take another exercise at this point. And all I want you to say is that tell your AI to say, I want you to generate a flyer for me for your business, advertising what you do. That's all I want you to say to your AI. Design a flyer for me for my put the name of your business or your company if you are an employee. Advertising, put a service or a product. Use your general assistant at this point. You can use WhatsApp as we did during the last exercise. You can use your ChatGPT, you can use your Gemini, you can use, I don't know. If you put in that prompt, it may take a few seconds, but it's going to generate a design for you. And we've not started talking about prompt engineering. We'll get there, where we will talk about how you should prompt better. So please do that exercise now. Use your general assistant. But yes, if you want to, take a screenshot of this because you can generate videos, you can generate images, you can do design, you can write software, you can do all of these things. There's a site that I would like you to also be aware of. Hopefully your images are ready at this point. You can show somebody beside you the image that it made for you. It may not even have gotten the right color, it may not have gotten the right design, but it would have done something for you. And start thinking about the art of the possible on what could you use this for. This site is a good site for you to find different AI tools that can help with different aspects. AI, there's an AI for that, the name of the site, and it's going to help you with different aspects of AI. And so what I have tried to do in this first session is to help you see that AI has changed the world generally. But then let's drill down to AI in tourism specifically. Let's drill down to some of the use cases that we are seeing in the tourism space and what are some of the things that we should be looking at in that space. From the operations aspect to augmenting the average traveler to having frictionless experiences, both for the individual, for teams, for organization, you will find that AI has done a lot in the space. And rather than giving generic examples, what I got my AI to do was to help us with specific examples that you can start thinking around depending on the sector that you are in within the tourism space. And we're giving some specific examples. This aspect of the slide will be available to you after now, so you can take a screenshot if you want to, but it's also going to be made available to you separately. And so planning trips with some of the AI assistants is now really easy, but still be careful because some of these tools sometimes hallucinate. And so hallucination is when the AI will make up something because these AI tools are designed to be agreeable. They are designed for you to be able to just, if they want to please you as their masters, they want to be able to give you the answer that you need. So sometimes when they cannot find the answer that it needs to give you, it would hallucinate and make up answers for you. And so this is a use case. On Booking.com, they are now able to use AI on Booking.com for planning trips at hyper-specific trips. Booking.com has launched their AI to do that, so you can get that within Booking.com. But just to say to you also that you are able to do that with your general assistant that is trained based on information that is available. Many of the platforms are building AI into their own platforms too, to try and keep you as their customers. And so depending on what you are doing, you may want to build your own AI tool for your customers as well, depending on what you're doing in space. Expedia has roaming, and that helps with including shopping as well. So it's able to bring everything from the flight plan to your user profile, bring everything into one space, and you're able to do a lot being able to use that platform to do so. There are a couple of issues there in terms of the optimization as well, but be aware that we are now in the world where we can do smart shopping, collaboration, and so on. And if you've gone on wildlife reserves in the past, you will find that one of the challenges is that you want to, in Kenya, for example, there's Big Five, and you want to see all Big Five when you go into the different national parks and all. But then how do you know where these animals, which is roaming in a large area, where are they at every point in time? We're now seeing AI tools that is able to predict. One of the ways we've done that in the past is some of the drivers and the tour guides that go every day, they sort of have an idea to say, oh, this herd of lions, this is where they typically will be, this other herds, this is where they will be, and then they call each other. If somebody sights one, then they call to say, this is where the buffalo is at the moment, and so on. And at least this was my experience when I went personally. But then we are now seeing AI tools that is able to predict where these animals are at every point in time. Not because they have tracking chips on them, but because it's able to predict based on what they've done over time. And so it's able to maximize your return on investment, maximize your return on time spent, and so on. We're finding AI agents that is able to help hotel. And so recently we found a company launched the first fully AI hotel. Meaning that from check-in, from the point when you get into the door, getting into the room, getting your towel, getting your breakfast, logging in, calling guest services for one issue or the other, everything is AI driven. We're getting some really good feedback as regards that, but then there's also some challenges as regards that. And so you're finding that also in different rooms, you're finding AI predicting what room temperature you would like. You're finding it being able to figure out, do you want the blinds on or off? Do you want all of that? Advanced voice mode, you're finding that. We're also finding autonomous agents and physical AI in terms of cleaning, in terms of humanoids that are able to help with the activities. And so yes, we've been talking about the AI as regards the digital space, but the truth is that physical AI is coming. I was recently in a session in London where they were demonstrating some of the humanoid robots that was able to open drawers, that was able to hold a knife, that was able to cut, cook, and so many other things. And they are saying that some of these humanoids will be as cheap as £4,000, almost the cost of an iPhone. And so if you are able to afford an iPhone, maybe you would have some of these humanoids working in your context or working as your personal housemaid, house help in your homes, or also working for you within your organization. All of these because we're finding AI is helping. And so travel apps on steroids and all. Where we are today is that I wanted to just say that we're seeing different things in terms of technology, and this slide is to help you see where you sit. To say, do you want to start with some of the quick wins, some incremental gain, maybe a strategic transformation is where your organization needs to be looking at, or maybe leveraging on AI for some of your back-end work. All of these are things that you can look at. AI helping with the interpretation of data, with the prompt engineering and everything. But now let's do one more exercise, and this is going to be a bit more detailed. I want you to plan a trip with your general assistant, but don't give it a lot of information. Just tell it your outcome. What's your dream vacation? What's your dream city? Where would you like to go? And ask it to plan a trip for me to where you want you would like to go. That's all I want you to say to General Assistant at this point. Because we've been looking at AI, and as I said during we started this 3 sessions. The first was around looking at AI generally. Then we looked at AI in tourism, and that's the exercise we're doing now. And then finally, we would look briefly at best use of AI in terms of strategy, ethics, and all in a moment. But please take out your general assistant again, and I want you to do this exercise. Plan a trip for me to just mention the city, and you can tell you how many days you want, but just and it will give you an idea, and we'll start looking for things based on your context and also based on the city. You can tell it a budget to say, oh, all I have is $500 or something, or $1 million if you want. But the point I want you to see is that very quickly your AI assistant is able to do all of this for you, and you can now bring all of this together to even help your own customers. So we've been talking for a while now around AI.
AI is simpler than you
We've been talking around AI being able to help you at different tasks and so on. We've been talking around physical AI as well. We've been talking around AI humanoids, some of which are coming out very quickly. Let me show you just some of the ones that you can expect to see in your homes over a period of time and all. And these are some AI humanoids that we are seeing in the space with 4 limbs, 2 arms, 2 legs. And all of those limbs are able to, this is because our form factor, our built environment, they were all designed for the 2 arms, 2 legs situation. And so you're seeing more of these kinds of humanoids coming out. And like I said earlier, we are now seeing a company saying for the same price of an iPhone, you can have one of these in your home working with you. How awesome is that? But then I've said a lot of good things about AI so far, and hopefully your trip plan is ready. Please take a look at your trip plan at this point and let us know, does it sort of meet your expectation? If it doesn't, let the AI know, and it will be able to do some more work for you. Does it meet your expectation? I can't hear you. Does it meet your expectation? Interesting. Thank you. Now, let's talk about a few more things. Because so far, what we've been doing, all I did was just tell your AI what to do. And you may not have used any specific technique of getting it done. But the truth is that as you get more into the space, you will learn more about something called prompt engineering. People are going to school for months now, for years, actually 4 years, to learn about prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is where how we instruct AI on what you want to do part time. And what you've done so far, if you follow my examples and exercise, has been to use what we call zero-shot prompting, which is just tell it and that's it. But the truth is that the more you do this, the more you would understand that it is better for the AI for you to give it more detail around what it is you want it to achieve. You can give it examples, you can tell it the outcome you want, you can tell it why you need what you're asking for, and all of a sudden it will be more personalized to you. Understand that AI is trained with a lot of knowledge across the world. So general information. Where it does very well would be anything that is more general. When you now come to edge cases where it needs your expertise, it may not do as well if you don't give it the right context. And those context itself is very key. Google wrote a book for AI engineering, for prompt engineering, which is about 69 pages, and a number of people may not be able to read 69 pages at this point. And so there's an AI for that, because with Notebook LM, you're able to put pages and pages of documents, research, books, YouTube video, and it's able to give good summary of what it is that you want it to be able to give at that point. Also, meta prompting is something you may want to use, which is tell your AI the outcome you want and tell it to give you a prompt that will help you achieve that outcome. Then this is important. You have to go to a new chat. Copy the prompt it gives to you. The prompt will be a series of instructions. It won't just be one line anymore. It may be a paragraph, it may be a page. Copy that prompt, read it to make sure it captures what it is you want, or if you want to make some edits, you can, and then go on a new chat. Don't continue in the same chat, you have to go on a new chat. And no, you don't have to go to a new AI assistant. The same assistant, so if you're doing it in ChatGPT, you don't have to go to Gemini with the prompt. That was 2 years ago. Now you can use the same Gemini or whichever general assistant you use, and go to a new chat and paste the prompt there. The detailed prompt this time around, you will find that the outcome you get will be better than if you were to not use meta prompting or any other prompting technique. So the better you prompt your AI, the better the output it will give to you. And this is our last session to say it's important that you think about the best use of AI strategy. which is that start thinking around, if you're an individual, this may just be mental notes that you need to take. To say, how do you learn skills, how do you gain experience, and how do you gain exposure in AI? It can be mental, you don't have to document it. But if you are part of a team or a business, your best use of AI strategy should be documented. And the reason for that is because you want everybody to be able to do the same thing and not make a bad abuse of AI or abuse AI in some cases. We're finding that professionals are getting into trouble because of how they use AI in terms of not verifying in some cases. We've seen like this case of this immigration lawyer who did not verify and then quoted fake cases that ChatGPT hallucinated for him. We found areas like T-App and so on, which have also gotten into trouble. We found people copying the entire intellectual property of the organization and pasting it online. And that is wrong in case you didn't know that. Pasting it online and all. And so you need to, in your strategy, at the very least, ensure that you have ethics covered. Being able to understand what are the laws that govern AI in your jurisdiction, in your space, in the tourism space specifically today. What are the ethics? What are some of the technology? And the combination of those, you are still accountable for anything that your AI does for you. You as the human expert behind it, you are accountable for it. And so don't say, oh, it's because my ChatGPT misled me. That's why I gave the wrong travel plan to my customer. Or that's why I didn't know that there was a visa needed when somebody needed to get to a specific country and things like that. It's important that you look at all of these. And there are risk management frameworks being developed and coming up for some of these. So the NIST AI risk management framework, there's the ISO version of it, and so on. Those are some of the things you would want to be looking at in terms of AI. I'll touch on AI agents briefly as we round up this session at this point, because everything I've talked about so far is so last year, or last 2 years, in fact, at this point. AI assistant, generative AI. Because now we're in the world of agentic AI, autonomous AI, AI agents that is able to achieve outcomes that you give to it. If you haven't done so already, a good place for you to start is use some of these AI browsers out there. There are many of them, Comet and so on. If you want to start seeing the power of AI in our work. And don't forget that hopefully you noticed, I did say to you that let me know or make sure that you find out at the point where my digital twin started speaking instead of me during this session today. But agentic AI is here, which is that whatever process that exists in your organization, in your industry, you may want to start looking at areas where it can be fully automated or partially automated. And some of those areas are areas where you may want to now start investing in figuring out how to automate them. There are tools that can help you do that, and including the likes of N8N, November 8, November, Make.com, and many other tools along those lines. Even some of your general assistants are able to now start building AI agents for you that will be able to help with specific workflows. And so with the likes of Google AI Studio, you could start building agents that can help with one workflow or the other. What do I mean by workflow? Anywhere where you have, when A has happened, then let's go to B. When B has happened, then go to C. When C has happened, then do D. Depending on what the outcome of D is, go to E or F. All of those are flows in organizations. So we have many flows like maybe when you do marketing gets to sales, when the person pays, then you get to operation, when operation is done, then you go to compliance or audit, and so on. Some of those flows could be automated, either partially or fully automated. You may want to start observing and start experimenting with some of these. Like I said, AI will not get you 100% there today, because as of today, yes, it can get you 80% there even if you don't try. And those are some of the zero shots that we did earlier during the session today. But then if you apply techniques like prompt engineering with techniques like best use of AI, applying the right strategy, we'll probably get to 95% there, 90% there, maybe even 99% there. But as of today, it would not get you 100% there on any outcome that you're looking for. Your human expertise is still needed. Although, yes, there will be less and less of people needed in some of these key sectors, but you can be one of those ones that are absolutely needed because AI still requires that human expertise as of today and for the foreseeable future as well. And so where do you want to position yourself? Do you want to position yourself as the ostrich, putting the head in the sand and not seeing that the landscape has changed totally? Or do you want to position yourself as the egret that's just jumping from one AI tool to the other because there's new adoption here and so on? I don't think any one of those two extremes is good. I think somewhere in the middle is a sweet spot where you are making sure that your AI tools, your AI assistants, your AI agents is helping you deliver real business and economic outcome. And you are leveraging on these tools to help you do that at scale. So some of the things that you do, you can do them 10 times faster. Some of the things that you do, you can do them cheaper, 10 times cheaper. Some of the things that you do, you can do them 10 times more effective because you are making the very best use of AI. And that's the charge I would like you to take a look at today, to say, look at some of the exercises we've done using technology. Even though I wasn't physically there, we've been able to achieve some things already that you did by yourself. What if you just tried a bit more? Maybe there's much more there. Or start thinking around how can your organization, regardless of what your context is, start benefiting from this? How can you start leveraging on this for your clients and end users? There's a note of caution as well, because your clients also have access to the same tools. So you may want to make sure that you are adding additional value to your clients, because if you decide to stay where you were before, I gave the example of travel agency, your clients may be able to replace you with AI. But if you augment your own AI use case and adoption, your clients are still able to find your organization and you valuable because you are making the best use of AI. Same thing with industries, same things with individuals. To say, if you have a team of 10 today, there are some teams where you only need 2 people now, when they used to need 10. The world no longer needs junior developers, for example. The world no longer needs junior business analysts, junior product managers. And please, I said junior. If it's senior roles, yes, because of human expertise, the experience, exposure, skill that comes with it. As I said earlier, AI still needs all of that. So it's important that you start auditing everything that you're doing based on these that exist today. So hopefully, I've been able to share from my perspective. And yes, thank you so much for having me during this session today. And I wish you all the best and all the very best for the other sessions coming up as well. I know based on the speaker lineup, there are many other sessions coming up as well. But thank you. Make the very best use of AI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bade. It's been a good day from you listening to you. Even though it's time, you use like double of the minute that he's supposed to use. But we are good. We like to have as I promised, that we will have Q&A. I don't know if we'll have questions to be asked from some of the presentations that have been made. We may not be able to have direct questions, ask direct questions from the last speaker, because actually the video was recorded and shared with us. But for the first 3 speakers, please, do you have any questions, or does anyone have any question for any of our speakers, so that we can get that done? Please, let's, with a show of hands. wow. So I can safely assume that all that is said were clearly understood, and we have promised to implement these in our various businesses, because there's no show of hand. All right. I also want to believe. Okay. Engineer Bashir has a comment or a question.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me first of all appreciate the presenter, Mr. Sikel. You all perform anywhere you are. I appreciate you. Jumia has performed, so we see them performing. And HR management. One of the things I will see an experience where I will throw questions to the three speakers. On the marketing space, Mr. Ezekiel, in the marketing space, you've done a lot of things. And I'm going to use it in form of sharing my experience and how we're going to do it now. E-commerce is where we are driving to tourism and hostel management. But I have seen something all over the world. I have opportunity outside the country and Africa and right in Nigeria. There's a fundamental thing that we all need to agree in this room if we are driving toward where we are seeing. Most of the places who are making use of e-commerce have some basic structures on ground. And this has assisted them to perform excellently that we can copy. Unfortunately, we have a system that is not working. Example of that is what you see Jumia has performed. Just like my president said, all over the world, when you order, you pay. Even ordinary Uber, they will take money. Why? Because they have system in place that take the money. That means there is a guarantee and secure within the system. But Jumia went ahead and made sure that he still sacrificed taking risk to get to that level that when you deliver good, before you get it. Of all this, I divided into two things. One, the process in place. Two, to have a system to be able to have a leverages. For Nigerian, especially when I use Nigeria, I represent Africa. Most of the developed countries have system in place that assist them in their tourism business. But in Africa, especially Nigeria, we are not yet having system. It's unfortunate Madam from Stanley Bank has gone, because for them to do that, we need people who can assist. So my question to the three is this, sir. How can you allow the three areas, which is e-commerce key, marketing key, and HR, to create a process that will be able to compete with the world? Have it in mind that there's a risk behind it. We don't have system in place. And if you want to have an effective e-commerce application to tourism system, let me give you another example so that I can drive my point home. When you travel out, you see someone coming to Nigeria, you will look for a hotel that is similar to what he used to. Talking about pattern, talking about system. So if you see those hotels or any tourism similar, like Sheraton and some other thing, you want to choose that place as a first priority because he has used to the pattern. Unfortunately, if you want to create from Africa, that means we have to create a pattern that they will imbibe. Thank God for our creative industry like music and some other thing now, which has been making us to be done. How do we do it in that environment that our marketing system, our e-commerce, as well as our human involvement in it, will be able to achieve that similar goal within certain time? Sorry, it's a complex thing. I know you.
Okay, so we'll take you.
Okay. So we live in Nigeria, so we do what we can until the system is built. And I would say that, because I also work with a number of e-commerce people who are not, they're not Jumia, they're not, so they don't have the capacity that Jumia has. So there are a couple of things that they've started to do. And some of these people, they sell One of them is in our community, sells fitness products. It does over 6 billion a year. Is less than 30 years old. So, but what have they done to create their own systems? For example, Jumia has all of that money to be able to, automate a lot of processes. What they have done is that they now have like a team of what you call sales closers. So they have actual human beings that are paid a certain amount because you have to build the system that would work for you. So a number of them now have actual staff, who do some of the heavy lifting. A number of them have identified certain platforms that they focus a lot of their energy on, like Facebook and the likes. So ultimately, I feel like if you're here, you run a hotel or, any other business in the tourism space, I think that we need to meet with some of these people and maybe have a proper ad team, because that's what these people have. They have a proper ad buying team, they have a closing team, they have a retention team, right? So people are actually making calls, calling all these people every single time. It's much like what happens in my own organization too, right? In my organization, we're not a lot, we're just about 8 staff, but we average 300 calls a day. 300 calls every single day, because we don't have the resources of the Jumias and all that, so we can't pull out so much marketing and get people to come to us. So if we get 200 leads, 300 leads in a day, guess what? We do a lot of the calls. So you have to build a system that works for you until you have the resources to build a global system. So, but that's the way I see it, because it's on us. We can't say because the system doesn't exist, then we won't do what we can. We have to make it, we have to stay alive until we can become, some of these big names.
Thank you. Thank you. I think the HR man, your thoughts?
All right, so I would say that from an organizational development standpoint, people sit at the intersection of your strategy and your end result, which is the commercial side of things, actually. So there's something I say in my organization: all of the processes or systems that you build in any business, if the people who do the day-to-day work are not the ones redesigning the systems, it's not going to work. So my advice will actually be to enhance some of the things that you have asked in questions. I think businesses now need to sit down and create innovation platforms where the people who do the work, who see the bottlenecks, the challenges. I mean, if I work in Jumia, for example, and I process orders, or I'm a delivery man or something, I mean, if I list the number of challenges or encounters that I have, and we all sit down in the room and say, how can we shorten the time? How can we enhance the experience and all that? I think the commercial value or the end result, which is the experience you want to see, like you see over outside the country, can be way more enhanced. And so, which is why it is important to actually develop your teams or the people who do the work, because the solution lies in them, your foot soldiers.
Thank you, sir. The solution lies with your foot soldiers. Yeah, Jumia.
Yes, thank you very much. I think for e-commerce businesses, right, it is very important for us to begin to understand and adapt to the way we behave and interact here in Nigeria or in Africa. So I'll use Jumia as an example. When we started off in 2013, we brought in foreign practices and we were trying to use that in Nigeria. So things like, for example, pay before you receive your item wasn't really working. I mean, it works in the developed nations of the world, but it wasn't working in Africa, particularly in Nigeria. So we had to look back on the drawing board to say, the people we are serving, how are they interacting with this service, right? And that's how we came up with strategies that were inbred, I'll put it that way. Like, we grew these things, homegrown strategies, to actually begin to drive the kind of conversions we see. So people who probably come from outside the country and want the kind of experiences they have over there to experience it here. It relies solely on the collaboration and innovativeness of, each of these individual, captains of industries to actually begin to innovate the way the services are being rendered to these people, begin to adapt to what we have, the way our customers we want to interact with this service, and then begin to add, once it begins to work, then we begin to add, refine the way these guys are seeing it so that at the end of the day, the conversions that you are experiencing maybe would not dip, right, by the time, because today, for example, we do pay on delivery. It was 70%, but now customers are trusting the business. It's now at 45%. So customers are trusting us better, and they are able to now, dish out money before they receive their order because we've been building that trust over time. And it can't happen in a day. It will continue to happen. But yes, it is the way our customers react, that is the kind of way we provide them with the kind of services we render. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. We have some presentation to give to our guests today. Please, Taya Adepoju, can I have the plaques? Mr. Chair, and representing the president here now, we have, okay, you have a comment, sir. So you keep it short, as have announced plaque presentation. I didn't see your hand early. I'm sorry.
Okay, my name is Benjamin Aduli. I run an organization called Mice Trade. We are a cooperative federation made up of MSMEs, and I have a comment and a question. First, I hear the speakers, I really appreciate, but we're talking about e-commerce here. I think one of the biggest challenge of e-commerce in Nigeria is that we are a cash-based economy. There's no way cash can move in the e-commerce world. So in building our businesses, therefore, we need to ask the question, how do you confirm the quantum cash in the system into a format that it can become useful in the e-commerce economy? That's one problem. The second problem is we do not have a credit system. One of the reasons why people like Jumia could not sell because people don't have money in their pocket. We are overstretched. People are over-leveraged. So they do not have the patience to pay and wait for you to deliver it 3 or 4 days later. They want to pay when they see it because that money is needed in so many other places. So the financial product needed to help the e-commerce is very, very critical. Otherwise, our e-commerce will still be on idea stage. We are still thinking and thinking and thinking. Now, that is where I have a question for the Jumia man, because I'd like to have this conversation with you. Consumer credit. What role do you think consumer credit can play in enhancing the e-commerce culture in Nigeria? Thank you.
All right, the Jumia guy, please, you want to make a quick response. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So today, like I mentioned in the presentation, right, payment flexibility is very important if you want to survive doing e-commerce, putting your business online there, right? Because we are, a cash-based economy, the drive from the government around cashless policy is working. What the conversion rate looks like from the top of my head, I don't know right now, but I know that it is working, and e-commerce businesses ideally should be able to become flexible when they're offering their services. Today, before now on Jumia, we only had
you only need to put in your card to pay. If you don't put in your card, there is no way you can transact on Jumia. And then after a while, we adopted pay on delivery. And then we decided to say, okay, customer, if you want to receive your item, then you can pay when we bring it for you. But when you want to pay, we are going to bring a POS so that you pay. So that happened for a while. And then again, we decided to adapt. Customers can now transfer, but they would need to transfer to the right account. You can't transfer to a delivery agent. So all of this flexibility continues to happen. Today, we have integrations with OPay, PalmPay, and MoneyPoint. We never had them before. A lot of customers use this. So when we go to deliver item, you hear the customer say, okay, I want to transfer, I want to use my OPay. And we're like, oh no, we only collect money from commercial bank, and then our infrastructure can only collect from commercial bank. It becomes a problem. We lose out on that customer. But today, we have that flexibility to receive money from microfinance banks. And then we recently got into a partnership with CredPal and EasyBuy. So now customers can shop on Jumia and pay probably 10% and then spread the balance for 6 months. We didn't used to have this before. We started this last year. And so we continue to adapt on the needs of customers. I think the next frontier is going to be blockchain. And I know Jumia is going to be in the forefront of, allowing customers to maybe pay with crypto, at whatever level they are able to pay with. That is the next frontier, and Jumia is going to lead that, right? So, again, while we are, a heavy cash-based economy, all of those flexibility continues to happen. And as e-commerce businesses, being in tourism and hospitality, you need to be able to offer your customers that flexibility, because you never can tell who wants to pay and how much they want to pay. Someone might want to pay you ₦1 billion and then you can only pay through crypto. You have to be ready.
Of course.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. Let's put hands together for Jumia. Thank you for this. So, first, today, Mr. Chair, we also have the honor of Engineer Adewale Bashir, who also sit on the board of trade promotion here at SCCI. So please join you in making this presentation to our people. Engineer Bashir, please join the chair of Hotel and Tourism for this presentation. The first one is for Mrs. Kumbi Adeoti, who is she's here represented today by Mr. Osakwe. Mr. Osakwe, I'll get a second name. I forgot it now. Yes, Toshuku, yes, Osakwe. So please come to the middle. I shouldn't forget that. That's my second son's name. Thank you, sir. Next, the Chief Executive Officer here at LIMS Simple Academy, Mr. Ezekiel Sholesi. Let's put hands together for him. Yes. Last but not the least, Mr. Nicholas Obazeg. Let's put hands together for him, please. You came here today with 2 caps, so. Thank you, sir. I think we're good. Yes. On that note, we'd like to appreciate all of us for coming today, but I will give the microphone to Engineer Bashir to do a vote of thanks on behalf of the Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Engineer.
Well, let me first of all appreciate the presence of everybody. You've been here since morning to take the e-commerce business in tourism and hotel to next level. the group leader, which is member of the LCCI, the entire member and the other investors who have been here since morning, we appreciate you. I want to go precisely to the speaker of the day, Mr. Ezekiel. I always call you performance. Keep it up. Mr. Nicholas has been my friend now. I'm seeing the way you are changing the world through the e-commerce. And the people manager, I appreciate you. Without people, we can't take this thing to the next level. Even the AI that we're talking, e-commerce, is still around the people. So as we are living here, I want us to live with the intention of saying that we are here to contribute to the development of our society by contributing one thing or the other. Thank you for having time for us here. I will be expecting more of this in the future. I will appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. On that note, please, we began with the national anthem. It's also our custom here to officially end our event with the national anthem. Please, let's be upstanding as we take the final activity for today. National anthem, please.